all this growth within. Some new planes getting broken in. Highest elevation of the self. Created from around and gave the right niggas wealth. These ain't songs, these is hymns, cause I'm him. This is Psalm 151, this is New Testament. Book of Hope, Book of Hope, Book of Hope. Jesus turned water to wine for Hove, it just took a stove. You never know how this shit could go. Me and Biggs probably got too big if they ain't booked that low. Hindsight is 2020. Though he's getting plenty money, looking back now, this shit is funny. I just got $1 million off a sink without risking a million years trying to get it out the sink. Whole big. They say they don't know me internationally, niggas on the road, dig. I see a lot of Hove and gigs. Me and me can never be. I free that nigga from a whole big. Hove did. Next time we have a discussion, who the GOAT? You donkeys know this. Forgive me, that's my passion talking. Sometimes I feel like Farrakhan talking to Mike Wallace. I think y'all should keep quiet. Breaks my heart. Thank God this down. Come on, man. Come on. But look at us now. They counted us out. They didn't think that we would make it. They didn't believe in us. But I know God did. Yes, He did. Yes, we'll switch it over. Down here.
A minute. About 10 minutes.
We didn't pull them. All we had to do was set up a table on the street and said, register to vote. Man, people came from out of the woodwork. We ended up with more than 150,000. This was a coalition. This was not just CBUG. This was a coalition of groups that really put on a boycott and a political, the voter registration drive. It was just unbelievable.
Okay, let's stop down now. You've blown through very decent and very wonderful.
Mach 3.
Tell me a little bit more about Harold's reluctance to be drafted for this mission to be mayor of Chicago. Did he think you were trying to shoehorn him into that?
Well, he probably did. Shortly after he said we had to get these 50,000 registered voters, we called another meeting at Bethel AME Church, and it was a voter registration meeting, and we formed what was called the People's Movement for Voter Registration. Our speaker was Harold Washington. See, we were constantly pushing Harold in front on everything. At that meeting, Harold made a strange speech. It was really a strange speech. And he started talking about it's not the man, it's the plan. And when he finished speaking, I walked over to Harold and said, what are you talking about? I said, what's this man and the plan business? And when are you going to give us a kind of a concrete time frame? Because, see, by now, things were picking up. Things were really picking up in terms of a black mayor. Harold said to me on the platform of Bethel while the program was still going on, Harold said, I'm not going to run. And I looked at Harold thunderstruck. Ronald Robinson was sitting on, I beckoned for, I said, come here, Ronald. I said, Harold said he's not going to run. So Ronald said, we got to deal with this. And for a couple of days, we started talking among ourselves, why is Harold so reluctant? We generally felt that as a congressman, Harold was in his milieu. He was a legislator. He was a state rep. He was a state senator. Then he was a congressman. That was his thing. Now, we were asking Harold to come out of the legislative into the executive. And I am convinced that he was totally comfortable being a congressman and did not want to get into the into the executive branch.
We got to roll out. We're going to have to go back and pick that up again. Everybody has no
Mark, hit second sticks, do it again.
Second sticks, Mark 4. All right, tell me now, why were these political education classes so important?
Well, you've got to remember that in 80, 81, our people had been through decades of machinian politics in Chicago, and they had been forced out of any real involvement, and they really knew little about the political process. So we took 2,000 people who knew, they didn't even know the difference between a ward committeeman and an alderman, and that's about as elementary as you can get. They knew nothing about what a state rep was to do, what a state senator was. They just did not know anything about the political system. So it became absolutely essential that we develop a cadre of people, number one, who were informed, and number two, who had been trained on what to do out there in the streets insofar as campaigning was concerned. And that's what developed over this year and a half period of political education.
Okay, let's go back to, forward to the Harold's reluctance again. There was a meeting in your basement after the plebiscite. Describe that to me.
Well, after the meeting after the public meeting in which Harold started talking about it's not the man, it's the plan, we got greatly concerned because we thought Harold was kind of pulling out on us. And we had by that time begun pushing him as the candidate because he was the choice of the people. After that meeting, I called a meeting, a smallish of 8 or 10 people who had been involved in the process in my basement. I remember we were eating watermelon, typical. And I told Harold, I asked Harold to come to the meeting. I said, Harold, you tell me what you told, you tell these people what you told me at Bethel Church. And Harold said, well, I'm just not going to run. And I never intended to run. And man, the place almost went up for grabs. And we had quite a time down there with Harold Washington. One or two instances, it was almost necessary to keep him separated from some other people because they were going to go to blows. Well, we were able to get over that period. But I am convinced Harold did not want to be a mayor. Harold wanted to remain a congressman. But he never said that to us. He never gave us that signal that he really wanted to remain a legislator. So he got so far out on the limb, he couldn't pull back. We're glad he did not pull back because his election in 1983 was a major victory for the black empowerment movement. And by the time of election day in this city, it was dangerous to even suggest that you might not vote for Harold Washington in our community. So it was a beautiful, beautiful period in our life. And let me tell you this, Harold's election gave hope such as I've never seen before. Young kids, 3, 4, 5 years old, school children with the Harold Washington buttons and saying to people, I can be the mayor too, you see. And they saw this man as a role model, such as we.
Marker.
Mark 5. Harold Washington, hope young people.
You see, to really understand the importance of Harold's election, you have to understand what both the campaign and the victory did to people, to black people. Young, 3, 4, 5, 6-year-old kids, so proudly displaying the Harold Washington button. And during that period of time, hardly nobody called him Harold Washington. It was Harold. It was just Harold. And I tell you a story about them buttons, which became button mania. The campaign was so bogged down in what color the button's going to be, what are they going to say. It took them weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks to get any buttons on the street. So 2 or 3 of the campaign workers designed the button, paid for the button, and all of a sudden there were maybe 1,000 or more with that sunburst, blue with a sunburst, and everybody was struggling to get a button. So while the campaign was trying to figure out what the button ought to be, these 3 or 4 campaign workers designed the button which became the major official button of the Harold Washington campaign. Man, you could not walk in the Loop or in neighborhoods without seeing thousands of Harold Washington buttons. And people just became energized. On election day, I'm in my office, and an old man walked in on those walkers and said, "Could I just rest for a minute?" I said, "Certainly." I said, "Are you on your way to vote?" He said, "Yes." I said, "We'll take you to the polls." You know what the man said? He said, "No, I want to go on my own and vote for that boy." That touched me so. So, we had people going to the polls in wheelchairs. We had people get out of their sick beds because the mood had hit. What's the thing about a time, an idea whose time has come? Clearly, it had come. And when Harold Washington announced on November the 10th, 1982, that he was going to run, a whole city was transformed. And I remember so clearly the date because that's the same day that my sponsor of my radio show fired me because I had been too pushing too hard for a black mayor. So it was an experience that cannot adequately be described. It gave so many of us hope, and Lord knows we need hope.
Stop that.
Mark 6.
Okay, describe the Battle of the CHA, Chicago Housing Authority appointments, the story of your arrest.
Well, when you realize that Chicago Housing Authority tenants are easily 90 to 95% black, it was just outrageous that Jane Byrne, the mayor then, would shift the complexion of the CHA board. A group of us went to the first meeting of these new board members, and we created a little confusion down there. And at the time that I was arrested, I wasn't doing anything. I was just sitting against the wall with my hands crossed, and all of a sudden, I was grabbed, handcuffed, along with 6 or 7 women. I was the only man in this, and they threw us in jail for, I guess, disorderly conduct. The trial was, they never had a trial. The charges were later dropped. But what they would do in those days, was to remove leaders from the scene, you see. And, that really is an example of how the city was transformed when Harold Washington became mayor. For example, what they used to do when we would protest what's happening in City Hall, they would put up barriers to keep us out of
the City Hall chambers. After Harold was elected, City Hall opened up. You know, you could walk through City Hall like a citizen. You know, you could go to a department and get what you needed because in that department were employees who no way felt proud of wanting to help you. And the whole complexion literally changed in City Hall, and the city just opened up.
Now tell me about what is all this meant? What's it involved? What's the price of that?
Well, the Harold Washington election, I have said this before, but I'll say it again, more than anything else, it gave the black community hope. None once told me that a people without hope is lost. What it also did was to provide an example of what black people could do if they came together. I used to say in speeches after Harold was elected that this has proved anything we decide to do, we can do it if we simply come together, make the necessary sacrifices, work toward a single goal. We could do anything because you have to have lived in Chicago to understand what it meant to elect an African American mayor of the city after all the years of what we call politics. So the election of Harold Washington opened up really a new life.
For the black people, for the black
WIFTEM.
Uh-oh, what's in it for the black people?
You are listening to the most dangerous show. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
Why?
For Ruthie Moore, for Ty Stroger, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Maze said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go. Yeah. Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts. Man, Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you could put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gonna sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government invested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System the milk is so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government invested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System the milk is so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to send it. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends, DNA get spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking, trying to get they steal on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Let this give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And I'm concealed carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government invested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System the milk is so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks.
Wake up, Chicago. Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. Once again, opening the day up, that is the Elder. Chicago in that video was Lou Palmer. Y'all said it was a little choppy. I don't know. Are we still chopping? Check the sound, Riis, make sure we not chopping. But this is the Maze Jackson Show on a week 304 Wednesday. I'm sorry we're getting started so late, but again, I think these videos in the morning are pretty inspirational. Kind of crazy, huh? You like when you hear all that stuff, like think that was 1983. Did he say what he got let go because his sponsor cut him from his radio show? I mean, it's just, Riis, remember I told y'all about Groundhog Day? Like, come on, man, look at these videos. You be sitting there like, hold up. And here we are. And it's funny because I think of we are in the same space that we were in 1983. Now, when you think about that, it didn't used to sound so bad when it was like 2000. But now that it's 2022, 80, 90, 2000, 2010, 2020. We are coming up on 45 years from that. And it's like, what? Riis, when I said yesterday, had we missed our, did we miss our turn? I'm really, really, really starting to feel like we did. And for some reason, I feel like I still feel like I'm in 1999 when this is 2023. Like, we gotta, that video was deep to me. Like, you know, I'm just saying, and just everything that it entailed. But we gonna keep on doing our thing. Look, but that's why I'm telling y'all I'm about to be a podcast. Y'all done feel around with me having me talking 5 days a week when they done did that 5 days a week 5 years ago. 50 years ago, they talk about the same. Like, and here we are, Maze Jackson. You know, I feel like they could put up a video to video and be like, in 1983, in 2023, them Negroes still talking about the same thing. We could do it if we try. Hope. Did you hear him? You see how Barack Obama jacked us with the hope? He put a whole nother generation of hopers on the field instead of workers. So now, let me stop. Anyway, it's the Maze Jackson Show on a Wednesday, a week 304 Wednesday. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man, DJ Riis, the ruler in the building, and we got some things to talk about. You might have to hit the, you might have to find the, but even though this one, nah, don't do it. Don't even do it because it's not even a joke. Anyway, it's the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man DJ Riis the Ruler on the ones and twos. DJ Riis the Ruler, how you feeling, man?
Blessed by the best. You already know the rest.
Hey,
I'm
man.
tired today.
Tired,
yeah.
You was getting it. What time do they stop dashing?
Never.
Like what, bro? I
24 hours
can't never seem to find nothing but Thai restaurants and Asian restaurants. Like, it'd be like, where's the good food, dude? You guys must got to go up north or something. Because it'd be like, I can't.
Order from like Greek town or something.
That's not the bomb. Like, what you gonna get, a gyro?
You know, you can get on. I forgot the name of that restaurant. The one that's on like Halston and whatever. You know what I'm talking about? The one that's right off the E-way. What is that? Halston and what street is that on? Is that Madison? Jackson. Yeah, they did.
Right on the corner.
Yeah. They be open all the time.
Riis.
Yeah,
Mr. Greek.
Yeah, there you go, Mr. Greek. Be open.
Oh man, Mr. Greek is too many drunk nights there.
Be a lot of McDonald's never close.
People order McDonald's
all the time.
I cannot believe people order McDonald's at night. and they order.
All the time.
Do they tip for McDonald's?
Sometimes, but at the end of the night, it'd be like $10 per order. But like I said, but I quit. I personally just live now. That's it. Take you up, drop you off, and then that's really it. Man.
Mugs be moving around.
Yeah,
at nighttime.
All the time.
They be moving. Do you be getting the late night movers and shakers? Who be moving around late at night, Reese? Like what they be moving around at night doing?
A lot of creeping, a lot of it be a lot of craziness going on.
I was just wondering. I feel like with the Uber now, like I can't even imagine what it's like because the biggest hindrance back in the day used to be come pick you up. Yeah.
Nah, it's like so I was I actually had to go get a ride like right around by like 26 in California. So now
I didn't
know that black people really stayed around there like that.
They getting out.
So I go there. When I go there,
it's a lot of.
You can tell that the person that ordered the Uber, I see why because I literally come out there to about 14 girls in the middle of the street ready to fight. It's gonna be a brawl. So I immediately know that it was a party going on or something, and somebody's like, hey, man, I'm getting out of here because I'm literally at the same location where it's showing that they should be coming out. They never come out. I can't drive nowhere anyway because these 14 girls are finna brawl. I'm just
in the middle of the street.
In the middle of the street.
Was one of the girls in the brawl?
And then this other lady of light, of light color, she walked past. First of all, I don't know what she doing in that area.
What she doing in that area. She's
terrified. She don't know if she should walk through it.
She's a pioneer.
She don't know if she should walk through or not. I sit there and they had bats, chains.
Was these black people?
Yes. Yes, they were.
Don't do it like that. Don't say it like that. Don't say it like that, bro. I don't appreciate you saying it like that. Don't even say it like that. Act surprised. You better cut it. I couldn't
believe it. But yeah, so I sat there.
Did you watch it? Did it happen?
So you know what? It didn't happen. But
you gotta be a bad motherfucker.
Yeah, but the person had, and then they it
did
took
just
them
1-2 on. Did it ever turn into a 1-on-1?
Oh no, man! They was gonna brawl. They was both the beasts. But right as I was driving off, then they was finna come together again. But I had another ride at that time. But you be seeing some crazy things.
What's the craziest hour? What's the witching hour? What's the crazy hour? If you get a ride, if you 2 to 3 a.m. 2 to 3. If you get
anything after 1, anything at 1:30, and then I didn't have.
You ever had anybody get in the car feel like they thought they was gonna try and pull it?
No. I really ain't got none like that yet. I ain't got no.
Yeah, man.
They just be at that time. People be too.
They be lit.
They be trying to get home. You know what I'm saying? They be trying to make it home by then, or trying to get to where they going. Okay. Sometimes they be falling asleep in the car.
Oh man, shoot! Don't let me ever had to get an Uber from downtown, and I never had an Uber to downtown when I was in the life. Boy, I'm straight sleep. You might as well rob me, dog. If you're gonna rob me, cause I'm gone. I'm out.
Wake up and then they waking up this is your house, isn't it? Yeah. Thank you.
Then be wrong with discombobulated. Like, okay,
right.
Give me a second. Let me get myself together. All right, well, man. All right. This though. All right, man. Thank you.
So yeah, but nah, like I said, I enjoy it. But yeah, so I got a little long day today, but it's good.
Chris say if you pick him up, Chris Devine say if you pick him up, you got to sign the NDA. Chris, where you going, dog?
Oh, listen, I'm telling you the stories,
Does it ever be like tax? Do you remember that show Taxi Cab Confessions on HBO?
I'm telling you.
Do people just get to talk?
People just get in there and talk his note. I be like, I guess you don't know me. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to be telling this story on the radio tomorrow.
Be like, I was like, what? I'd be hearing some, this one girl, she was leaving a dude house.
Going to another dude house.
Another dude. But the whole thing got it. She had another dude sending her to the other dude house.
That was the pimp. I
don't know what it was.
He was like, we got us one.
But I was like, all right, but yeah, but the conversations and people just get on their phone. Did they have any conversations with?
Oh, they do that any regular place though, Reese.
I be looking like, yo,
I'm here. I'm right here.
I'm right. I'm right
here.
I told him I wasn't playing with him, so I killed him 13. I killed all 13 of them. Like, I don't know.
Riis, you gotta be like, hold on. You gotta be like, I see, hear nothing.
I turn the radio I turn my radio off. I just be trying to, but that is, I thought that is funny. I don't know why people get in the car and then
they
just talk any kind of way with their driving.
Riis, anybody ever get in the car and start rolling up?
No, but somebody did try to, they be asking all the time.
Man, somebody, like, do they get it? Like, I'd be like, do people get in the car? Do people take you and make you go to stops? Like, do you be like, all right, let me stop at the store, let me stop at the
Like sometimes, like somebody may ask me, like I was dropping a guy off from the club, he needed some cigars, it was right there. But like a lot, but I found out a lot of drivers are like really, really mean to people, which is weird. This is like what you really do. Like, they don't like when you add stops, so
I add a stop. You'll drive past. I'll be like, oh, I need to go. You'll be ding, ding. I don't even ask them no more. I don't even act like I used to be like, right. Well, it's like some people get an attitude, and you be like, oh. Then when I learned that they could get an attitude. Because I'd be like, hey, man, could you just stop at this Dunkin' Donuts? We've been to pass it right here. My order is already ready. I could literally walk in, walk out. We'll be out in 30 seconds. Man, oh, okay. Da-ding. Be like, did we just, yep. Da-ding. I'd be like, by the way, and it says I have 6 minutes. Take my time. Da-ding.
Yeah, man, like I said, I'm pretty chill. Like, as long as you don't take forever in there, like if we're gonna pass it by, you ain't gotta add it. I just be like, all right, you want to go to the gas.
Do you get cash tips?
Oh yeah, the tips be.
If you go to if you taking me to get bees, I'm gonna give you $10.
So yeah.
Well, not me, my cousin.
Yeah, but yeah, so like I said, it's cool, but my black people had a little finna be crazy out there. So that is the crowd. I was looking like it's really in the middle of the street, and I'm sitting there with I had to stop, I want to park, I'm just
gonna watch.
They're not gonna move.
They're gonna be on your car.
So yeah, I'd have reversed then, but yeah.
Don't tell Chris, you are not Tennille. You don't tell me to read no headlines. Let me do what I do. Look, y'all, this is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man DJ Riis the rule on the ones and twos. Riis, let's get the soul plane up to 60,000 feet, and then we're gonna take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll get some traffic, news, weather, headlines, all of that, plus the social media question of the day. It's the Maze Jackson Show.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break.
Hey, Chicagoland, all roads lead to Solo Beauty Supply, the largest black-owned beauty supply in Chicago. We carry a large selection of natural hair care products, plus much more. So come see us at one of our two locations, located at 9011 South Ashland or 8158 South Cottage Grove. Our inventory is growing, and with your support, Solo Beauty will continue to be a source of pride in our community.
Sesame Street Live, make your magic. Experience the fun. Join Elmo, Abby, and friends on an amazing journey filled with surprises and spectacular illusions. Discover the magic in everyday life when Sesame Street Live comes to your neighborhood. Coming to Rosemont Theater October 7th through 9th. Tickets on sale now. For show details, visit SesameStreetLive.com.
And now, traffic and weather.
Yo, who said devotion had to be sad? Yo, check this out. The Lord is my shepherd, and I want. He's making me to lie down in green pastures. He leading me beside the still waters. He restored my soul. God's gonna turn it around.
Come all the way with me.
Good morning. What's in it for the Black People Media family? The time is now 6:41 a.m. I'm Riis the Ruler with your Chicagoland area traffic and weather report. As we head over to the Kennedy O'Hare to the Loop, will be 35 minutes. Outbound to O'Hare will be 32. On the Edens Deerfield to the Exchange will be 40 minutes. Exchange to Deerfield will be 37. The Eisenhower, 51 minutes. Thorndale to the Loop, 32 minutes outbound. On the Stevenson from I-3, 55 to the Dan Ryan, 56 minutes outbound, 32. While the Bishop Ford is 44 minutes. I-80 to the Dan Ryan, 30 minutes outbound. The Dan Ryan is 24 minutes to the loop, 11 minutes to 95th. On DuSable Drive South, be 7 minutes and 8 minutes north, while the weather is 75, partly cloudy with a high of 82 and a low of 63. I'm Riis the Ruler. Happy Wednesday. It's the Maze Jackson Show.
From the grave back to glory. Oh, it gets him, to the grave, from the grave. Oh, it gets him, to the grave, from the grave. Glory, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Come all the way with me. Don't leave me now. Come all the way with me. Oh, please. God's gonna turn it around. God's gonna turn it around. God's gonna turn it around. From glory to Gethsemane to Golgotha to the grave, from the grave back to glory. Glory to Gethsemane to Golgotha to the grave, from the grave back to glory. Glory to Gethsemane to Golgotha to the grave, from the grave. Glory to Gethsemane to Golgotha, oh, Golgotha to the grave, from the grave. Dear Lord, it's me again. God's gonna turn it around. I'm calling on you. You did it before. I believe that you can do it again. Somebody calling you right now, Lord. If it ain't one thing we need, somebody else needs you for another. Please, son, look and have mercy. Have mercy over our home, Lord. Have mercy. Have mercy. God's gonna turn it around.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man DJ Riis the Rule on the ones and twos. I want to say what's up to everybody in WBGX 1570 AM. Thank you for tuning in. We call y'all the Saints. Y'all get here every day at 6:30, stay till 8. That's right, live on WBGX 1570 AM. Give us a call, 872-259-7474, 872-259-7474. That's right, it's WBGX 1570 AM. 6:30 to 8. Now, if you are one of the sinners or early rising saint, you can stay with us. You get with us at 6 o'clock and you stay till 9. You can catch us every day on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. That's right, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Every day, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9. It is the Maze Jackson Show. I really like this shirt on the show. It be looking good on the screen for some reason to me. Maybe it's just because Maze said. See, I don't even say Maze said, see. Say Maze said. You know, you can even tell him Maze said. Smooth jazz, straight R&B, straight R&B, straight R&B. We're going to be straight R&B. I'm still trying to figure out what's going on with my music licensing because they acting up. All of a sudden, now they want to jam Riis commercials in the morning and be like, that's the reason they jamming us up. And I'm like, come on, man, we've been playing this music for 22 years. Same damn songs. Now, son, y'all want to get brand new? We gonna figure it out. Facebook trying to hate because YouTube kicking their butt. What happened? What I need to understand this YouTube migration. And I jumped up on subscribers too. I didn't even realize I had over 3,000. I'm trying to get to 5. I'm trying to get to 10,000 to get to the 10 ball. And I'm trying to get the super chat so y'all could be like bling. Because I got to get YouTube cracking. Facebook, y'all tripping. Y'all don't be hitting the stars or nothing. Now, I used to ask all the time, support us with stars, but you know it's almost time to pay the bill for the radio station. So all y'all radio people, get ready for the cash apps because I'm about to put it up. You know I be going through this. It's the end of the quarter. They calling me for the money.
So all this love and affection y'all been giving for the last 3 months, it's time to pay the piper. So maybe we're going to have to broadcast live and have us a telethon so we can pay the bills, right? Is it still choppy? Is it all good? You sure? We good? All right. It's the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man DJ Riis the Ruler on the ones and twos. Let me get through some of these headlines in case you were not paying attention. Senator Emo Jones III, not to be mistaken with Senator Emo Jones Jr., who was the former Senate president, yesterday was indicted by the federal FBI on a red light for taking red light camera bribes. Why you make that face, Riis?
What are you bribing red light cameras for?
Well, so this has been an ongoing saga, and basically it seems as though the federal government planted a mole inside of one of the biggest red light camera companies, SafeSpeed. Full disclosure, at one point I was the lobbyist for SafeSpeed. I'm not involved in any of this, but Riis, I'm going to talk about this because a little bit later, because so essentially, Riis, they said that he took a $5,000 bribe to kill legislation that would negatively impact the red light camera company. So there's two things that I think should happen. One, I think that the red light cameras, first of all, I am a proponent of red light cameras because I do not want to get pulled over for a stoplight. I do not want a police officer to pull me over. I'm happy to take the ticket in the mail and I stop at the stoplight and I count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Right? Then I don't got none of the rolling. I don't got none of the issues. I do everything that it says, and I give myself a 3 count. Now, you might call it, but anyway, that's not my point. My point is there's so much money in the industry, and when you see so much going around, and Riis, LeBron James. How much money does LeBron James make? He got let's just say he's the richest player ever in NBA history. So let's just say he makes $50 million a year. Is that reasonable to say he makes? Is it reasonable to say he makes $30 million a year? Okay.
Don't insult him like that.
I'm saying $30 million on the salary, just on the Lakers, just from the Lakers, not his. Riis said, "Don't insult him like that."
$120 million a year.
Okay. Audrey, you say it's chump change. So let me break this down, and then we're going to have a whole segment on this. Riis, the problem for this situation with Emo Jones is part of the reason. Remember when we did the thing about the raise for the alderman, and people was like, don't take it, and blah, 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 blah. This is a case for why I believe that we need to pay our elected officials more money. This case, and Audrey says $5,000, that's chump change, which it is unless you make $78,000 a year.
That's what I was just saying. He only did it for 5 G's.
So the issue becomes, right, that Riis, imagine, so the problem for black legislators, okay, I'm going to talk about this later. Anyway, I think what happens is for black legislators, particularly in Springfield, they get, when you're on the World Championship Lakers and you're on the road, everybody gets the same, right? You get a bomb hotel room, you get the same jet. Now, Brian get the front seat, but you ride on the team jet, so you don't really spend your money. Then, when you leave the season, though, and you hanging out with LeBron, like if LeBron picking up the tab, like if it go around, LeBron pick up the tab, he be like, I got everybody. When it's your turn, it mean a lot more to you than it do to LeBron. And that's what happens to the legislators a lot of times, is they are exposed to the life, they get treated to the life, but then they have to figure out how to do it on their own in the summertime. I'm not going to talk about that too much right now, but I'm going to explain it a little bit more when we get back. But I want to know what that means. What's going on in the Senate, man? It seems like you had the Mike Hastings issue, and now you got this one. I think the last person that got busted out of the Senate was Senator Terry Link as well. So just something to keep an eye on. I've been watching on Channel 11 after Chicago Tonight, America's response to the Holocaust. And it's so crazy because so much. Do you know that the tactics of sending migrants to rich, wealthy states where they say they would like them is something that is not new, that Ron DeSantis did. They did it to the Jewish people during the 40s, during the Holocaust, when they were trying to escape. And America was like, we know that they killing y'all, but so it's interesting to watch America repeat itself. And it's interesting as I keep watching these things, it's Groundhog Day. But I will tell you, it's very interesting to watch America's response to the Holocaust on PBS. Kim Burns' documentary is going to be long. It's a lot of footage. But if you are a history buff, it's a lot to take in and it's a lot to watch. I feel like I know my kids are glad they got their own TVs. Because back in the day, if my old man would have liked that, we would have all had to watch the whole series until it was over. And it would have been like, really, really, Mork and Mindy is on, and we're watching Animal Kingdom. Nova, for real. Did your mom ever turn the channel?
Learn something. You probably learned something that you never forget watching that, too. That'd be the craziest thing, don't it?
Right. It's like, I hated all that stuff. Now it'd be like, and the lion was stalking, and you be like,
that? Oh yeah, you listen. Oh yeah, he do this. Like, man, how do you know, man? My old man had me watching it.
Man, my old man made me watch that dumb old story. I was missing Woody Woodpecker watching some old.
So, it be some method to their madness sometimes.
Sometimes, man. Sometimes I'll be smart. I'll be talking. Did you see? Okay, wait a minute. Did you hear this story, Riis, about the 3-year-old first that they told us fell into Lake Michigan at Navy Pier? Now it turns out that there's video that one of his family members pushed him in.
Did they survive?
They don't think he is. He got him out, but they don't think he is. But that's super sad. And the fact that like somebody in your family did it. I'm praying it was a kid. I'm praying it wasn't an adult. And I was watching the story like, oh please, oh please, oh please. Oh damn! I was like, damn, when they showed because first they told the story, Riis, there was no visuals, and then it happened, and it was black people, and I was like, gosh darn it, and you can't be messing with no black people around no water. That's why I don't even be like in the Riis, I don't even play around, like, I be thinking, because black, somebody always want to be funny, somebody always think it's funny to push somebody in the water, and you don't know if somebody you don't know what their status is.
You remember it was the Gold Blast kid that died like in like 01 or something, 02. Yeah, that was my cousin. Like, and he couldn't swim. They pushed him in the water, and she thought that he was like playing. Yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, that's why I don't push nobody in the water.
I don't play. I'm gonna tell you. We were and then I'm gonna move on from this. We were in Arizona and we were staying at a house, and it had a pool, like a pool where you could sit on the edge, but then like the edge, like you walked off and you thought it was like maybe 4 feet, and that bad boy dropped to 6. And I just remember my daughter just slid off, and she had Jersey, and she slid off, and I saw them go down, and and I saw Jersey go, and then she went back down again, and I was like, wait a minute. And I dived in the water and snatched my grandbaby up. And my daughter was like, what am I? Chopped liver? And I came and grabbed her too. But it was one of those things where you can see how, how drownings can happen. They say it happens like you see a person once, they drink 2, and then the third one, you just ain't seeing them. Right? And it's like in only 6 feet of water. It was crazy. So that's something to watch. Did you see the guaranteed income checks went out? They were sure to make sure that they told us that 68% of them went to black people, 24% went to Latinos, 16% to white, and 3% to Asians. So we got, and then it says 71% of the basic income went to women. Did you get a basic income check? Do you know anybody black that got the basic income check? I just want the universal basic income check. You heard about anybody getting it? They probably ain't gonna say nothing. They probably gonna be like, shoot, y'all not gonna be cursing at me. How about this one? The police video. They did you see that police video of them guys shooting those two boys in Pilsen? That cop, hey man, they shot one dude because he was looking a certain way. They hopped out the car on him and booga, and his boy ran, and then they shot him. And then his boy ran down, and then they didn't recover no gun or nothing. They didn't flex on him or nothing. It was kind of like they must have knew them, Joe. Like they must have had known them from somewhere else, and was like, "Oh, you said you was gonna do what next time you saw us?" Because it was like Riis. There was absolutely no provocation. I'm gonna stop though. Did you see Cook County is trying to recruit election judges? They say that there is an election crisis for election judges. You would think that with a crisis for election judges, especially in the black community, don't you think they would call us and say, hey, could you do a public service announcement? Or, hey, we like to advertise. Or, hey, we like to come on the Maze Jackson show because we know black people listen. Shoot, white people listen. Riis, you see how it be for the black people? Black people need judges, and they don't even want to tell us. It's okay. So I got to watch a press conference and don't nobody want to come by. I don't know if y'all saw the Puerto Rican press conference yesterday, but they were angry. Talking about we should have been fixed the grid in Puerto Rico. And I was just like, sis, didn't y'all just send Luis Gutierrez? Didn't he come on and didn't he even come on our show? First of all, bust Luis Gutierrez because he signed that letter, chump. But, you see, this is my thing. How you gonna sign a letter and then be? Okay, I'm gonna stop. I'm not even gonna go here right now. I'm gonna let this all be. Anyway, Riis, the Puerto Ricans yesterday Chicago Puerto Ricans had a press conference talking about the response, the United States response to what happened. And I just thought it was odd because I thought that Luis Gutierrez went there, came on the show and told us he was resigning Congress so he could go fix Puerto Rico and go get rich and become a developer and help repair his country. And I noticed they didn't let him talk yesterday, but he was there. But I was just like, our show was like, y'all gonna curse on us, y'all gonna curse us out, but y'all ain't gonna talk about your mans who went down there? Why you writing letters? You should write a letter to the federal government talking about your infrastructure since y'all ain't got no grid, congressman. Be tripping, man. These people be hypocritical. And finally, pay attention because the Chicago affordable housing market has a new player from New York who is buying up affordable housing. They just sold the Barbara Jean Wright courts, but they bought up the Woodlawn Community Development portfolio as well. But I think it's important that we pay attention because New York investors, of particular, I'm not gonna say from what, but there has always been groups that have seen profitability in housing black people, sometimes in less than standard conditions. And it has become profitable for some of them. And so pay attention to the ownership change of the people coming from New York that are investing in the affordable housing. I also think we should pay attention to how many of these affordable housing developments are now rapidly how many of them are going to be coming up on their term. Just something to think about. All right, that is the Maze Jackson Show. That was our headlines plus a little video, plus a little history. Look, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to get into the social media question of the day, plus we're going to talk about Senator Jones, and we're going to talk about, Laura, you say it is ludicrous to suggest that we pay people more to stop them from stealing. I would argue with you, and so I would tell you, pay attention a little bit later, and we should talk about it, because you say they should go get a part-time job, and I think we see how that works for black people and white people. I could give you example after example, but we're going to talk about it a little bit later. But I do think that we should make the case that I think that our elected officials should be paid full-time salaries. They should not be part-time, and then they should be paid equivalent. And then I think this bribery issue goes away, but not goes away, but it does diminish tremendously. I'm going to explain it to you a little bit later, and I think you have to have lived the life or understand the life of an elected official, particularly a Springfield elected official. But I think that every one of our black elected officials is at an economic disadvantage, regardless of who they meet with besides black people. And so they find themselves looking up oftentimes. And so we'll talk about it a little bit more when we come back. Plus the social media question of the day. I want to talk about black value. So we'll talk about it all when we come back after these messages.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break.
Hey, Chicagoland, all roads lead to Solo Beauty Supply, the largest black-owned beauty supply in Chicago. We carry a large selection of natural hair care products, plus much more. So come see us at one of our two locations, located at 9011 South Ashland or 8158 South Cottage Grove. Our inventory is growing, and with your support, Solo Beauty will continue to be a source of pride in our community.
The Willie Wilson Foundation and Urban Field Operations is having the first voter registration program since Harold Washington. We need volunteers. Call Coach Al if you would like to register people to vote. Call 773-431-4664. 773-431-4664. This is Senator Rick in and register and vote.
Urban Field Operations.
Final Explosion Entertainment.
Lay's Thrift Store. Andre Smith. Eyes Associates. Midway Coalition. This is Brother Earl C. Williams from Williams Juice Service.
Marsha Fountain Images Design.
This is Daryl Smith. Keith Harris. Nashville Black Wall Street, Chicago. Register and vote.
Hi, this is Dr. Willie Wilson. I need you to register and vote. Many people have lost their lives in order that we can have a right to vote. So please, register and vote.
Call 773-431-4664 or stop by 2946 West Madison. Register and vote.
This might be a small thing, kind of revolving around a situation that don't happen often. I mean, it's involving something that's scalding. Hot the topic is, it needs some resolving. It's kind of puzzling, sometimes solving. But after I thought about it, sent her to Walgreens to pick up a few things to stop me from stalling. Otherwise, I'ma be blunt and she gonna be bawling. And I don't need that, or her brother calling. Talking them fight words, now we gonna be brawling. I'm more of a stand-up, I don't be falling. For that okie doke, it's better dissolving. Call me a nice guy, yeah, I like nice things. It's best to stay away from chicks that's trifling. I'm not a rival, so I don't be rivaling. But end up in this scene, I won't be wifing, you know?
Avoid a quick fail, take heed to this wise tale.
If you feel me like Brill, take heed to this wise tale.
Whether male or female, take heed to this wise tale.
Outside or in jail, take heed to this wise tale.
She got a secret, don't know where she keep it, don't know why she hide it, guess it's convenient. She like a zebra, two things at one time. It ain't black and white when you lived it a lifetime. She got a story, might be a fable, no categories. She don't like labels, she like a loner. Maybe she's selfish, something is fishy, but she don't like shellfish. She say that her phone broke and she need a new phone. She got a night job, now she got two phones, one for the pubic, one for the public. I Freudian slip, y'all, I think that you dug it. She got a curfew, she live in the group home, but she in Miami, getting her Luke on. She can't be truthful, not what she built for. Mouth might be useful, but nothing to kill for, you know?
Avoid a quick fail, take heed to this wise tale.
If you feel me like Braille, take heed to this wise tale.
Whether male or female, take heed to this wise tale.
Outside or in jail, take heed to this wise tale.
Back to the Maze Jackson Show. You are listening to the most dangerous show. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
The black people, cause economically we are not equal. Waking up to lies, can't doze no more. I told y'all, yeah, this is a dangerous show. Don't go to church if you ain't trying to help us. Don't even try to be around, you can't protect us. We see the lies, not other politicians. We need money and no symbolism. It's Maze and Riis and Ruthie and Ty, explaining how we all come from God, giving us tools to beat the odds. If we united, our movement gon' stop. If they ain't tryna help us, they ain't tryna do nothing. We gotta do something, we gotta stop running. It's time to confront the problem. Really, you expect you oppress to solve.
Wake up, Chicago. Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man, DJ Riis, to rule on the ones and twos, and I am the host of this show. It's the Maze Jackson Show. I'm not finna argue this morning. I'm gonna tell you my points. I'm gonna tell you what I think. I think that sometimes it's funny. We sometimes are defeatist of our own self-interest. Sometimes for lack of knowledge or experience. And I'm going to talk about it a little bit later. It's kind of like when you send somebody to college with $100 and expect them to be successful. So many. Hey, Riis, you went to college, right? How many black kids that went to college did you know had a hustle? Had some sort of supplement, some sort of come up, because if they wanted to participate in college, do your parents tell you go to school and just do the books, right? You don't need no clothes, you don't need no nothing. How many college kids have gotten caught shoplifting, whether it is for clothes, whether it is for food, whether it is for, and you would be like, man, maybe college ain't for you, right? If you got to steal when you go to college, maybe it's not for you. Right? And I'm going to talk about it a little bit later, but it just sometimes I've seen this story play out before, but before I do, because I'm getting a little distracted, Riis, I'm time for, I got a question. I have a question. I think, Riis, it's time for you to hit the button. So why don't you go ahead and hit the button and I'm going to ask it.
It's time for the social media question of the day.
What is the black value proposition to the city of Chicago and Illinois? Give us a call, 872-259-7474. 872-259-7474. I want to know what do black people bring to the state of Illinois? Like, if you were to say currently the black contribution to Illinois is what? Like, what commodity value, service, industry, what is our contribution currently to Chicago as the black community? Give us a call, 872-259-7474, 872-259-7474. Where do we fit in the considerations of Chicago? Like, if you were to be talking to, if you were sitting in a conference and there were all of the different constituencies, right? We talk about the Asians being the fastest growing minority in the city of Chicago. We talk about the Latino community being, and the immigrants being a vibrant working community that provides the labor and provides, remember? Let me get your boy for you real quick, because I'm never letting this one go. Hold on, Riis. You turn me up in my, let me see. I got too much going on. And I think it's important that let me just bring this back. Riis, turn me up in the switcher. I'm about to play a video. Ready? I'm going to play the Durban video.
Just inviting trouble. Across my state of Illinois and virtually every other state, there is a desperate need for workers. Our birth rate is not keeping up with our demands for workers. And in every walk of life that you can imagine, we need more people. And there are those who want to serve this country, but we need an orderly process at the border. Right. To do that, we need Congress to do its part on a bipartisan basis.
So obviously we're not the workforce, right? Because they're not, even with a 14% unemployment rate, you heard your U.S. Senator Dick Durbin say that we need an orderly process to bring migrants. I'm not going to get into the birth rate part of it. The birth rate part of it, that's some Handmaid's Tale stuff. I don't care what y'all say. Like, whether they repopulate and they use them to have children and fill in the space, because, again, remember, they wanted to count black people as 3/5 so that they could get the resources, but not give them the human value. And so that goes to a whole nother level. But I just really want you to tell me, what, like, if black people were not in Chicago, what would the loss, where would we see the most significant impact? Some would argue crime. Some would argue housing stock would go up. What is the value assessment that we make when we talk about the black community in Chicago, right? The mayor talks about all of this investment in Invest South and West, but I really believe that investment is not for now. That investment is for the future, right? These affordable housing developments have a 30-year life on them. So yeah, you'll get them for the first 2, 3, 4, 5 years, but as you continue to move out, as we continue to shrink. So help me understand, what value would you say that black people bring to the city of Chicago and the state of Illinois? And I want you to think about the answer to this question. Caller, you on the Maze Jackson Show. What's up?
Shalom, shalom, my brother.
Israel, King Israel, what's going on, my brethren?
Man, I want to back up a little bit. I heard you talking yesterday. We ain't, it's our turn now. We ain't lost nothing, man. The samples and them background sold us out. We can have 15 of all them if we need to cuff all them seats and move forward.
I mean, I hear you, Israel. I think it's interesting. Let me say, because, you know, when I was playing those videos yesterday,
The fight was for 26 wards, right? For us to be representative at 26. Now we talking about 15, and you talking about the open seats, but the 15 open seats ain't really all ours. Now, I'm not tripping out. I'm saying we should be doing something, but I really do think the reality is the time when we were supposed to be dominant was when we had the numbers, right? When we were over a majority of this entire city, we was busy, and while we were busy not counting and not reading, they were busy spending our birthright. Now, I'm saying we can fight, but the fact of the matter of self-determination, when it was only black people making the decision and had the ability to do it on our own, yeah, bro, that time is gone. That's past. Now, we can find alliances, which is something we'll talk about a little bit later, and we can try and mix and match and put together the numbers to say, okay, we're going to share the pie, but the time for us to be able to cut the pie and distribute it on our own and build our wealth to the point that moment is over. That's why we steady talking about trying to build relationships with Republicans, with Green Party. We owned this city. We owned this whole party. We owned the majority of people, and we gave it away. Now, I'm okay with you saying let's keep fighting, and I'm okay with us saying we got a time, we can still find us a peace. But there was a time.
So you're activist now, yeah.
I'm not an activist, not at all, not at all. Let me break that. I know. I'm watching Power, dog. I'm about to watch Power. Now let me tell you.
No, I'm with you. You know I'm with you, bro. I know you on something.
But the reality is, in Israel, like I'm watching these movies that we're showing in the mornings. Like I think about even like Your Comrade, right? You think about what Mark Allen was fighting for with Black Wall Street, right? Just think about that. And
yes,
that
sir.
was that when you think about that, and Mark, think about all of these people and all of these videos that I was showing, Mark was in them. Mark became, in some circles, the crazy mad dude because he could count and read. And I feel like, bro, they make us go crazy because it's like you living in bizarro world where you know you supposed to eat, you know you supposed to be participating, and everybody be looking at you like you crazy.
I spent 10 years over there, Mark, and I know a lot of things, but you said he was in them videos. I missed that.
What I'm saying is all of those people, listen to me.
He was supposed to go to the White House with the man with the funny name, which is so-called Barack Obama. Man, that man got he told me some stories that, man, them people rotten as hell.
Think about how many of these people that we're watching on these videos, man, was in it and died. Like yesterday we showed Conrad and Phil Jackson, right? And Gus Savage and Charlie Hayes. And think about how the cycle went around. Hey, man, I don't know what happened. I'm not even going to go all the way down into it, but here's what I'm saying.
I said it. Bob Israel said it. I said it. King Israel said that. The message, hold on a minute. The comments of King Israel had nothing to do with Mayor Jackson. Whatever that damn thing I got to say.
So I just think, Israel, and it's like I got, fam, I'm in it, right? And I'm in it with you, and I want to open up the doors. But I look at us, and I say, Israel, do we gotta die? Like the people lived off of their deaths. Like people prospered tremendously off
Black
the
death.
death.
Is a hustle. I thought I heard y'all say that.
You know it. Now you know Black Death. Now you know you know where it came from, but it's been recycled. I got my own show. People telling me that's somebody else's. But my point is, Israel, like all of these people, like. They have died in the fight, and as we die in the fight to open up the doors, it's the same people sitting in the doors that's profiting off of our death. Like, and then be like,
Ruthie, we need the matches. We need to get the baby out with the bathwater. That's what I'm saying. Don't give me that. I'm trying to get you banned off the show again. But I'm fighting royalty events now. I'm sorry. That Queen, they got order. I look at royalty events in Chicago ain't nothing. Them Jews over us, man. My mama, rest in peace, she said Jews run the world, that white people run around in it. Them niggas seem like they're scared of white people. Me and you ain't scared of white people. That's the problem right there.
Man, brother. And it's like...
Let me get to the... Okay, go ahead. We'll talk. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
No, I just think
I said it. The rules and opinion of Bobby Israel King have nothing to do with Mayor Jackson and his show.
Look, everyone is welcome on our show. You're welcome to share your opinions. I really would love to have a honest conversation with. I would like to put you
I would like to get the black, and I don't know how I specifically say it correctly.
Don't put no hyphen in it. They the real Israelites in the Bible.
I want to have
black is a color.
I want to have that conversation right here on this show, right? And I would like to invite the Ashkenazi in as well, and I would like to facilitate the conversation because it is a lot going on that we ain't able to talk about. Because, man, bro, if you see this Gus Savage video that I play you will be like, shh, and they did it to him. Israel.
J.B. Cliff put Gus Savage out. You know that? Any Negro that vote for J.B. Cliff is bogus. Ain't no other way to put it, man.
Reis over here. Reis, hey, look, we got the Saints on. That is Israel. That is King Israel on the Maze Jackson Show. Let me offer my disclaimer one more time. The thoughts and comments of the people that call into the show are not the thoughts and comments of the Maze Jackson Show. We are not to be held responsible. Everyone is welcome to call as long as they offer their opinions in a positive manner. I do think that some of you should watch the Holocaust in America, America's response to the Holocaust, that is on PBS because there's a lot of repetitive sentiment that is going on. And I did not realize that anti-Semitism, if you look at according to the documentary, it's probably one of the biggest things in the world. Let's talk about this. Let's go to the live line. Callers on the Maze Jackson Show. What do black people bring to Chicago, to Cook County, to Illinois? Caller?
Yo, what's up, bro? What's up, Reis? What's going on, family? What's happening?
What's up, Israel?
You mean Devo?
No, what's up, Devo? What's up, Devo? My bad.
Hey, no, it's all good. No, I think that we bring a wealth of professionalism. We are within all of the economic industries within the city, county, and state. We pay a lot of property taxes. We contribute to the economic system, the largesse, by paying fines and probation costs, insurance costs we pay. So I think our value to the state should be just under the group that holds the majority of the money in the state. So we contribute. And we don't even ask for anything in return. So we pay for everything. Everything that the state has, we pay for, but our communities don't really see a tangible benefit relative to our contribution. Because we don't.
Go ahead. I'm talking about if you were to. So I'm with you on the taxes, the fees, and the fines. But I'm saying essentially, like, could our taxes, fees, and fines be replaced? My question is really like the tangible outcomes. Go ahead.
Our contribution to anywhere in this country cannot be replaced. Now they can work on it being replaced, but due to our conditioning, our condition and conditioning, we have been subjected to this permanent type of class. So everybody's spreadsheets and balance books are made off of us because we are so beholden to all of the systems. So we're the only ones that have that type of condition. Everybody else can say, well, we don't want to participate in that, so we will either create our own or we'll have the space to carve out our own lane. We don't have that. In every industry, we have to go to somebody else. So therefore, their livelihoods, we contribute a good portion to their livelihood. and we're the only ones that kind of function in that manner.
That is kind of deep now that I think about it. First of all, thank you for calling. Second, is it your birthday today?
Hey, it is my birthday, man.
Hey, man.
Why? It is my birthday. Prince Hakeem.
Well,
birthday, Devo.
Well, happy birthday, Devo. We appreciate y'all. Reese, you got a birthday song somewhere in there. You got like the black version of, you know what I'm saying? Actually, you should find the whitest we should have the whitest version of Happy Birthday to play on this show. The same way you should troll him and play Happy Birthday.
Wow.
Oh, you giving him the good one? You giving him the good one?
Oh,
no, you got to give him the one for the Bears. Give him the one at the Bears.
I can't get no 2 Chainz, man. I can't get no 2 Chainz with no Uncle Luke. I can't get no Uncle Luke for the Virgos, man.
Oh, back that up.
I can't get no Uncle Luke for the Virgos, man.
Hey, man, this is a clean show. We trying to keep it family. But, hey, look, man, this our man, Devin Gordine. He is the president of BP1, vice president of What's in It for the Black People. What's in It for the Black People first. That's where we are all the time right here on the Maze Jackson Show. Y'all say happy birthday to brother Devin Gordine. Y'all go to his page, though. You know what I'm saying? Blow him up. Hit him up. You know what I'm saying? Give him some. Oh, you put a bomb on it, Reese. We got to come up with our own thing because that's Funk Master Flex. So we got to figure out what we going to put something on it. But that's okay, y'all. Happy birthday to brother Devin Gordine. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. What is the black value? What is the value that black people bring to the city of Chicago? Reese, what's our biggest, what do you think the biggest thing that black people got in the city? It used to be I could say if you took out the chicken, if you took out the fish, if you took out the barbecue. Remember there was a time, so let me help you, and let me put this in perspective. There was a time when Chicago was the capital of black millionaires. There were more black millionaires in Chicago than anywhere else in the country. Reese, in the Forbes, there were 28 businesses on the Black Enterprise 100 that were in Chicago. Guess how many there are now, Reese? 1.
From 20 to 1?
28 to 1.
What happened?
This. I always tell you when Dick Durbin, and let me get you some Dick Durbin real quick, one more time. Ready?
Trouble. Across my state of Illinois and virtually every other state, there is a desperate need for workers. Our birth rate is not keeping up with our demands for workers, and in every walk of life that you can imagine, we need more people. And there are those who want to serve this country, but we need an orderly process at the border. To do that, we need Congress to do its part.
Reese, 28, Dick Durbin came and presented to black business people. I was there when John Rogers gathered all the business black people together and bragged about the hundreds of millions of the billions of dollars that he controlled as the number 2 person in Congress and how much money he had given away. And when we asked him about how much he spent with black people, he was like, well, that's not something you can ask me. And he referred us to someone else. Reese, there was a time when Chicago had the most robust black business. Think about this. The Chicago Defender, Ebony, Jet, Al Johnson Cadillac, Soft Sheen, all of those were here. Johnson Products, Johnson Publishing, Supreme Life. This was the black Mecca. And now when you look around, Reese, who can you call? When you think about the titans of business in black Chicago before, where are they now? What was their legacy? We don't own the Defender building. We don't own the Ebony Jet building. If black people were to be gone out of Chicago, what does black Chicago miss? If our population went to 100,000 black people, who misses us besides our families? Who misses black Chicago, and what do you miss about it if you could keep 100,000 black people and still have the city? Now imagine that from 2 million. Imagine we were at 2 million black people at one point, and now we are less than 900,000. What do black people bring to, like, why should anybody fight for Black Chicago? You fighting for social services. You fighting to dig a hole. So help me understand that. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. When we come back, I'm going to talk about Senator Emo Jones III, why he got caught up with the red light cameras, and then we're going to talk about it a little bit more. It's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after these messages.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break. Maze Jackson.
Tune in to the Maze Jackson Show every day, Monday through Friday from 6 to 9 a.m., where you can catch us on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook Live. Plus, from 6:30 to 8, you can get us on WBGX 1570 a.m. That's right, it's the Maze Jackson Show, where every single day we ask the question, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them, Maze said. We out of here. Peace. Listening to the Maze Jackson Show. Shout out to my girl Sparkle. I like that song. You see, DNA hit me up and was like, man, Maze, we don't get Sparkle on, but this song came out right around and so I just decided I wanted to leave it alone a little bit, but I'm gonna reach out to him. He was in the thing, like, so shout out to Sparkle for appreciating the what's in it for the black people first. Shout out to Vince Bass for pointing it out to them. But shout out to Sparkle and her team for reaching out and being like, yo, maybe we should try and get Sparkle to perform at the live broadcast. You know what I'm saying? Sparkle. Y'all ain't seen the woo, it's fresh in there now. It's fresh. It's performance ready. We about to get a drum set.
We about to get us some amps so they could just come in, sit down, and have a jam session. We already got a piano, dude, so Walter could get in there and get in. It's gonna be like you just come bring your thing. We can have a jam session. Look, also, anybody watch football? Anybody watching the Bears game Saturday? I've decided, Riis, that I am reviving the kickoff kickback, but it is going to be a pre-game game time celebration, and it's going to be at Obsidian. So if anybody out there wants to come catch the Bears game, have a couple of drinks, a little something to eat, and kick it with your man Maze, kick it with the family, for the Bears game, I'm going to be giving away over the next couple days some passes to people to come kick it with me at Obsidian. Yes. So y'all gonna come Sunday? Yep. Drum, you ain't finna do. You ain't gonna do. Man, the Bears ate. Mill, you be tripping too, man. The Bears spread was off the chain. You should have seen the burgers. The burger bar, pew, pew. Them burgers was gone quick than the mug. People was like, I'm gonna have to do sliders because I'm gonna have to teach y'all. Have you ever been to a Bloody Mary bar, Riis? This is the problem with black folks. Black folks, I think what we got to do is go on a white tour and then blackify it. Like all the things that white people do that we be like, that's pretty fresh. But let me put my black spin on it. Right? You ain't the Bloody Mary bar? Man, Charlie, you get a whole meal. I saw people putting chicken wings on the Bloody Mary, putting hamburgers on it, the whole thing. Right? Riis, because then you get a skewer and then you go around and you pick everything and you, like whatever you like to eat, you put it on the stick and then you put the stick on top of your Bloody Mary, which is made out of tomato juice, right? So it's pretty good. Like you could dip your chicken wing in vodka sauce. It's good. It's good. Oh, I have to remember y'all. Last year y'all hadn't even been to y'all hadn't tailgated, right? Last year people were like tailgate. Look. TT and them was trying to bring Jello shots the other day. They came with their own cups. Now I'm just telling y'all, come on through, kick it with us for the Bears game. Every Sunday, Obsidian, I will be giving away some passes to people to come kick it with us, Obsidian. Don't nobody eat no stovetop macaroni and cheese. What's stovetop macaroni and cheese, dude? All right. Riis, so I don't know if you all saw this, and I want to offer full disclosure one more time. I, Maze Jackson, at one point was a lobbyist for Safe Speed. Post all of this crisis stuff. You ain't gonna do nothing. Y'all gonna be playing with your cats. Anyway, so when I saw, so you know I always take a particular interest when I see these stories. It is whiteified. Yesterday, it was announced that Majority Leader, Emo Jones III, not to be confused with the former Senate President Emo Jones Jr., was indicted by the federal government for what was a $5,000 bribe, for taking or accepting what was a $5,000 bribe that was provided by, it appears to be person A is Omar Manny, who has been a cooperating witness and has been the mole that has been responsible for taking down so many people in state and local government. Right? This same guy, so this Omar Manny has now been responsible for taking down state reps, state senators, and local mayors and municipalities, all with the money that he provided through SafeSpeed. Now, SafeSpeed maintains that they are not and have not been participant or were not privy and that he was a rogue actor. Riis, there is, my suspect is that, the government will set up a whole operation to sting you. But if you could find a real legit operation and find somebody and catch somebody up in a legit operation, then you flip them and then you don't even got to make nothing up. You just use them as the tool, right? So I think anybody that met or did a deal with Omar Manny probably needs to be concerned. Because it seems like every time and everybody he came into contact with, he was offering them bribes. Now, apparently Omar Manny got caught up first in a different deal. And this is where you got to be careful, Riis. So he got caught up in a different deal doing something. And then because he got caught up in that deal, he was like, I can give you these people. Now, the other part is, was he working with somebody else in the government that set him up who keeps introducing him to all these people? But I'm going to leave that alone. So the last person that he got caught up in this was Senator Marty Sandoval. Now, here's the key. In April of September 24th of 2019, Senator Jones was interviewed by the feds. Okay? Let me see something real quick. I am trying to find a date. Okay, so hold on. I'm just trying to find Okay, so this is important. So 9/24/19, that's September 24th, 2019, 21, 22, 23. Okay? 3 years ago, almost to the date, Senator Jones was interviewed by the federal government, right? He's just now being indicted. And charged 3 years later. So let me start there. So when you get interviewed by the feds and they say they caught you, and you still meet with people and they never take you out for 3 years, Riis, my guess, they probably said, wear this flower. Right? Now, let me tell you why this is going to be even more complicated. And this is what I was trying. So, 9/24/19, he gets caught up in the midst of what is now the retirement time of Senate President John Cullerton, who resigned, and Don Harmon is running against Senator Kimberly Lightford. Okay? The Black Caucus goes with Senator Lightford for the most part. Senator Jones sticks with Senate President Don Harmon. Okay? All throughout that time, throughout the deal-making process, Senator Jones is in some way, shape, or form involved with the federal government. Now, you got to guess all of those deals that are being made are now probably somewhere on a file. Right? Are probably somewhere those backroom deals that are happening are probably somewhere being documented. Ooh. Right, I got that. So right. So now, and Riis. So I'm not even getting into that part. I'm not going to go there because you're getting into the personal stuff. I'm not going to get into the personal stuff. So Riis, here's the deal. The paperwork says that Senator Jones took $5,000 in exchange for $5,000 on a fundraiser and a job for a friend. He ensured that legislation that was passed would not impact the company. Now the question becomes, who's the friend that introduced Senator Jones to Omar Manning? Now, was it a lobbyist or was it a friend or associate? I have my suspicions. I'll let that be. But now the question becomes, did Senator Jones wear a wire? Riis, they got you dead to left for $5,000. And can I point out that $5,000 seems to be the magic number. That's also the number that got Derek Smith as well, right? I think 25 was the other. The Senate president just asked Emo Jones III for his resignation. The thing that I want to do here, and these are the days when you should read Capital Facts and read the comments, right? Because what's that song Jay-Z has? It was all good just a week ago. Just a week ago, all of these people that are now commenting anonymously would have been kissing Senator Jones's butt. Right? They would have been calling him the honorable. They would have been taking him to dinner. They would have been doing everything else. Now, they are feasting on him. Right? If you go to Capital Facts and you read the comments, I think it's important for black elected officials, particularly in Springfield, to pay attention. Because I often tell you that a lot of the people that smile at you are not necessarily your friends. They give you the props because you got the title. And when you think about all of the negative comments before he's been proven guilty, before anything, I just want the black elected officials that hold up whether it's your staff, whether it's the white lobbyists, whether it's your co-legislators, this is all the people that you are seeing and walking and talking to every single day, and they are cheering your demise when yesterday they were telling you how great you were. Does that make sense a little bit? So they love to see you fall, but particularly for black people, it's very easy to be comfortable and to wrap your arms around a white lobbyist, a white legislator, a white businessman. It's very easy to wrap your arms around them and to believe that they really are your friends, when realistically you are the means to an end. Now, Riis, I'm going to back up because I want to talk about the economics here. Riis, people often talk about, why do black people and black elected officials, like everybody keeps saying, man, he did that for $5,000. Just $5,000. Man, Joe, you went down for $5,000. Riis, I've described this moment and this situation ad nauseum. And nobody really understands it because you don't. So oftentimes, Riis, Remember I told you being a black elected official is like being royalty in our community? And when you see white folks, they really don't hold their white elected officials up that high, right? But when our black elected officials come, they are treated as though they are revered and they are our highest level because, quite frankly, Riis, oftentimes their position puts them in proximity to wealth. It puts them in proximity to wealth. And sometimes when you're in proximity to wealth and everybody is feeding your ego, they make you feel as though you are one of them. And I want to open up the phone lines. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. But I would argue that what happened with Senator Jones and the reason that we keep seeing black elected officials fall down this rabbit hole for peanuts as compared to taking the whole pie is because, so look at what Madigan and McClain and all, they took the whole pie. They fed whole families because feeding whole families made them powerful. Our guys are in a subsistence mode. Let's back up. Riis, if given the chance to be royalty, would you take it? Yes. Now, if you knew that by being royalty, it meant that you could go out to dinner, somebody would pay to take you out to dinner every night, everywhere you went, people would hold you up and be like, Riis, you are the greatest. You are the greatest. Remember how King Jaffer was, where when he would get out, there would be people throwing rose petals around everywhere you went, and it would be like a drum beat, and it'd be like, oh, right? And so you get to believe your press conference, right? You get to believe that you are King Jaffer. And then you get to go to your own neighborhoods because all of the people surrounding you are telling you that you're King Jaffer. I'll take you a better life. Remember when New Edition, did you see the New Edition special? Remember when they went on tour and they was all on tour and everywhere they went, they had girls and hotels and they money and champagne and they could kick it all they wanted to. But when the tour was over, the bus pulled back up into the projects and they got off the bus and they had $50 in their pocket. But on the road, they felt like, because everywhere they go, people pay for your food. They make you feel like a star. They make you feel like you're great. And then when the tour is over, guess what, Riis? You got to go back to the hood. Because remember, the black elected officials are representatives of their community. So realistically, you're throwing let's say the average median income in a black community where a black elected official would come from, can we just say it's like $60,000, $70,000? So you throw $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 to the average black person, that seems like a lot. $60,000. Man, you make $70,000 a year. What you complaining for? Except for you make $70,000 and that's what you have to live on. And the white folks that show down there they either rich, they got a second job, they got everything else going for them, or the white corporations give them jobs to make sure that they're straight. So now you down there on a $70,000 budget when all the white colleagues, Riis, are on they got $250,000, $300,000. You the black kid that shows up to college with $100 in your pocket, and your parents who ain't never known nothing about college is like, boy, you better take that $100 and you better make it work. And all your friends is like, man, we ain't even had no $100. But now you down at college where you got to pay for everything else, et cetera, et cetera. But here's the deal, Riis. Here's the deal. You ain't got it? Don't worry, I got you. Enter the white lobbyist. You ain't got it. Don't worry, I got you. You ain't got it. Don't worry, I got you. Now I got a challenge in raising black lobbyists up, because if I raise a black lobbyist up, then maybe I'm not royalty, right? Because now he can do. So I'm gonna help the black lobbyist, but I'm gonna get him to a level, right? Not a level where he can affect change. So now, here you got the black legislators down in Springfield, 200 miles away from the South Side, where everybody else has got everything else to do. And so now you going home. Let's just pretend like you ain't going to participate in the life. Well, you got to go eat by yourself every day, and you got to go, and yeah, they got a per diem, but yeah, you can only, how much can you eat for $7 a day away from home? Or let's say 25 or 50, right? So now what you've got is recognize that every black elected official enters the conversation with almost anybody they're in a conversation with except social service agencies at an economic disadvantage. So you're always looking up. Your people like, man, you make $78,000 a year. Everybody you meeting with, whether it is a white businessman that wants to come and do business in your neighborhood, a white lobbyist, a legislator, you're looking up to all of them because they all have more economics than you. And you know it, and they know it. So now you enter into every situation where the lobbyist who can buy you a $50 meal or take you out every night because you ain't got the money to live the life of the job that you got. You say the grocery store, Audrey, but usually when you living down in Springfield, you're living in a hotel. Till you're a long-time resident, you're living in a hotel, you're trying to make it happen. I got to help y'all understand, like, we will talk about what it is. Don't send your kid to college with $100 and expect him not to come up with a side hustle. He ain't bad. He got to survive. Now, I am not saying that there is no intestinal fortitude, but I am going to tell you that whether it is you take the 5 or you take the meals, you usually are at a competitive disadvantage. Now, let me also break this down in reverse. Do you think as many rich white people would come down if they knew their income was limited to what they could make as a legislator's salary only? No, they wouldn't. Do you think that somebody that makes $250,000 in their other job would take would let that go for $150,000? You give $150,000 to black people, they straight across the board. If you live in a black neighborhood, $150,000, you king. $78,000, you just like the ward superintendent. Real talk. And the ward superintendent gets a raise. So the thing I'm trying to tell people is that this is then let me help you understand why this is also important. Because if I starve you, if I keep you because you still want to be royalty, right? Because you still are better than being average. Well, the fact of the matter is the white folks want the jobs to be part-time because they got the plugs. Oh, yeah, no. I'll take $78,000 a year because I can go get a job at the sheriff's office and still be a white liberal. I can go get a job at one of the world's largest insurance agencies as the head of public affairs. I can go and open up a weed company and still be elected. Do you think that if you have to choose between your salary and your weed company, you're going to choose the salary as an elected official? And so I think you got to understand that this thing is set up all the way slighted. So no matter what role we enter into, we are always looking up at the person who is across the desk. So he could be the most powerful senator in the world, but guess what? If you still poor when you go home, then you still either got to call somebody, which then makes you dependent on not the black lobbyist who doesn't have a corporate account, who has to pay for your meal out of his pocket and wait to get him reimbursed, or you got the white lobbyist who be like, man, you can go eat, you can go anywhere you want to go, don't worry about it, get back at me. Now, That's just the reality. Let me thank everybody from WBGX 1570 AM who is tuned in. This is the Maze Jackson Show. You can catch us every day, 6:30 to 9, WBGX 1570 AM. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. 872-259-7474. Guys, I want you to think about there is probably no black elected official, there's very few black elected officials that can sit at a table and vociferously advocate for black people, which is why a lot of times they're comfortable with the wins that they are given. Understand, and it's amazing to me, right? That black people have been bred to be humble, and our swag comes from our proximity to white folks. Like, I gotta be honest with you. It's tough for me to watch our people take more pride in their relationships with white folks than with the wealth that they've created with black folks. Like, it's almost like we know there's a cap on what black capabilities are, but they could take the cap off the black capabilities. It's like black people have to go to white people to get a better relationship with black people. That, to me, is like, it almost feels like, can I be honest with you? Like, when I see white folks sporting black people like they best friends. Where you at on cannabis, fam? Did you hear Jay-Z on God Did, and he say lawyers be working for him for pro bono because of the millions he threw them? There's so many white lobbyists that have made tens of millions of dollars off of black people and still be lobbying against our self-interest. So the question becomes, like, if you super cool with a lobbyist for a cannabis company as a black elected official and they aren't advocating for your community to get in, it's like Riis. So many of our black elected officials are put on subsistence until you comply. Right? Like, so you can stand up for black people, but you're going to do it hungry. So it's very easy to get to a place like Springfield, think that 78 grand is going to be life-changing until you realize that you are like Riis. You are Scott. What was Scott? Give me an end of the bench on the Bulls team. Give me somebody on the end of the bench when the Bulls are winning the championships. end of the bench. So you are Cliff Livingston. He ain't the end of the bench. But you are Cliff Livingston in a room full of Michael Jordan and LeBrons and Russell Westbrooks. You still operating on an old NBA contract. And everybody in the room is making $20 million a year. And you in there and nobody treats you any different. Matter of fact, everybody in there making $20 million a year and they holding up. But the people that are most important are the people that are making $100,000 a year. So the $100,000 a year people get confused that the $20 million a year people until they come home. So I just think we need to be thinking about, the rules are the rules. You break the rules, that's it. But I want you to understand that it's like if I put all of the traps in the way to make you break the rule. Like I jumped the fence and it's a hole over the fence. And I jumped the fence and it's a hole over the fence. And I'm not making excuse for graft or grave allegations. But what I am suggesting to you is these people ain't our friends. And the system is set up to make you go to them, right? The system is set up to make you find this alliance, right? To go find someone so that you aren't, man, they don't want us to operate with swag. Our legislators would operate with a different mentality if their wealth came, even if their benefits really came from black people. And the black people that can make it be busy telling them, why y'all asking me for money? It's like there's this cycle like, nigga, go get it yourself. So even our moneyed black people take pride in having white lobbyists and white people to go talk to black people as compared to black people. They'll run up and tell you about, oh, this little white boy is smart. No, you pay the white boy 10 times what you'll pay a black person. And so everybody knows that you get less than being with black people. It's the Maze Jackson Show. Let me take a break. It's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after these messages.
The Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break.
Yeah. Ruthie Mo. Reach the ruler. Maze Jackson. This is the reparations interlude. We not asking, we demanding. So go on, make my payments high, 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 high. Tell the government to cut them reparations, make them high, 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 high. Not no SBA loans, just run the bread, make it high, 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 high. Tell the government to cut them reparations, make them high, 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 high. Look, Hey, check it out. First drug lord was President Nixon. Oval Office was the trap house where he was tipping. Got the drugs from Nicaragua and gave us crack. Declared war on blacks. Man, tell him to cut the check and tried to make it seem like a revolution. CIA was the corner boys for distribution. We could tear this country in half for retribution. But I'd rather get some restitution, so tell him to cut the check. John Singleton, man, he already told y'all. He broke it down for you when he made Snowfall. They locked us all up and created whole laws. So send a message like a cold call. Tell them to cut the check. Look, we built this city. We built this city. Put this country together and gave him hella aid. Lot of blood, sweat, and tears. Over 400 years. Been punching the clock, but yeah, we still ain't got paid. Look, they paying immigrants. They paid the Jews. Executive orders, man, they made the rules. I want my 40 acres, you can save the mule. Cause as of right now, we getting played for the fool. Look, for sterilization, Tuskegee experiment, Rosewood, Japanese internment. Come on. Was all paid out from the government. We waiting on our turn, we definitely earned it. So make my payment high, 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 high. Tell the government to cut them reparations, make them high, 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 high. Not no SBA loans, just run the bread, make it high, 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 high. Tell the government to cut them reparations, make them high, 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 high. Not no stimulus check, just run the bread, make it high. Ruthie Mo, Riis the ruler, Mays Jackson. This is the reparations interlude. We not asking, we demanding.
Back to the Mays Jackson Show. You are listening to the most dangerous show. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Mays Jackson. Mays Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For Ruthie Moore, for Todd Stroger, I am the host of the Mays Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Mays said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go.
Yeah. Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you could put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gonna sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government invested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government invested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to send it. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legend DNA gets spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking, trying to get they steal on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Let us give bogus appraisals a red line. Firecrackers out here getting minimal fair time. And I'm concealed carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government invested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government invested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks.
Wake up, Chicago. Wake up, world. We have woken up again to another day. Another state legislator caught up. I feel a certain way. So let me back up and say I'm not. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. Senate President, according to Capitol Facts, Senate President Don Harmon on the bribery charges against Deputy Majority Leader Emil Jones III. I have asked for and expect to receive Senator Jones's resignation from his leadership post and committee chairmanship. These are grave allegations. Members of the Senate and all public officials need to hold themselves to high ethical standards for the public to have trust and faith in our work. One of the things that I proposed was they treat red light cameras sort of like bond companies and ban them from being able to make contributions. See, I think it's a municipal thing, but I think they should be banned from making contributions. I feel like a lot of times people see so much money moving by and they be like, I should just get some of that. Come on, man. Y'all making that much money? But let's talk about it. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. I want to hear from Hope too. But callers, it's the Mays Jackson Show. What's up, caller?
What's going on, Joe?
What up? Who there?
Hey. You know who it is.
Oh, is it? Oh, you got a frog in your throat. What's up, y'all? This is Jacob Israel calling all the way from Houston. Ribbit. Hey, he is calling all the way from Houston. Hey, my man Jacob Israel, I just want to say real quick, disclaimer, the thoughts and comments of the callers are not the opinions of the Maze Jackson Show. Every caller is able to give their thoughts and opinions. Jacob Israel, welcome to the Maze Jackson Show. What's up, fam?
Hey, man. Hey, that's what Dave was talking. Dave, when I talked to him, he was talking about lobbyists, and he dealing with, I guess, the mayor or somebody in Gary. But my thing is, why not? Why aren't the councilmen and this and that getting the opportunities like the white ones? Why they not getting hired at other jobs and things of that nature? Is it illegal? And if it's illegal, why are they getting indicted for it? Why are they getting indicted for having jobs and also, being working for the government or whatever? You know what I mean? So, and also, this is what I wanted to tell you, like yesterday. Don't sleep on Willie Wilson. I'm going to tell you what he's doing, bro. Every Sunday had a different church. Older people are the ones going to be voting. Now, the other so-called, blacks that's running for office, they gonna chop up a little segment of the vote. But he don't want to help Lloyd last year. Don't sleep on him, man. Do not sleep on him. Even though the upper so-called blacks, this and that, he's out there every day. His space is out there. And a lot of Hispanics and them mess with him too. So don't sleep on Willie. That's what I want to say.
There it is. That's Jacob Israel. I think it's so can I tell y'all? Yeah, I think like when you say these positions are set up to get part-time jobs, but they are set up to get part-time jobs to control you. I would argue that the alderman and I'm going to use alderman right now, the alderman and actually the state reps, with the exceptions of the ones that have jobs, really are, well, let me back up, are full-time legislators. I can't speak on, I can speak on the alderman. I can't speak on the legislators. But I do think that if you took away the opportunity for white legislators to get side hustles and side jobs, you'd find them in the same space. Fam, you ask, why don't they get a side job? Because the same way that the black unemployment rate is 3 times the white unemployment rate in Chicago. And here's the thing. The thing is, the white companies make you feel special, and they try to pad you enough so that you feel like you don't need the extra job. So my point here, and this is one of the things, like when I see our legislators poking their chest out, it's like, we got to be poking our chest out for ourselves. Oftentimes we're poking our chest out because this very small cadre of people make you feel cool or tell you how great you are as compared to what your people are saying. And so then you become better than your people. Then everybody owes you. Like, you feel like you deserve. Guys, I know politicians who only make 70 grand and make it their full-time job. And then you toss them into a room with people who are making 10, 15 times them and treat them as such. I feel like pay all of our elected officials to be middle class, not to be rich, and tell the rich ones that they got to live like middle class. You can't take no extra income. Again, I bet you if you go down the list and you look at what black elected officials, like,
it's real crazy when you see your colleagues and they going on vacation and they doing all the stuff and you be like, do we have the same job? No. And then the reality is they keep them out of those jobs and out of those positions so that they can be victims and they can find them certain people that then they rely on heavily, oftentimes not black people, because black people ain't got it like that. So then the white guy comes up and all of a sudden he becomes your best friend and he willing to take you everywhere and make sure you straight and everything. And then, but when he ain't there, what you do? Because now you're royalty. It's just, we have become so comfortable. We are sitting in the boiling pot of water. And the people turn the heat up every time. Act like they in the pot, but we in a glass pot, guys. So they're not in the same pot as us. All the black people are cooking in the pot. The white folks are standing around the pot watching us cook. We make the mistake of thinking that we're not in the pot too. So then when you think you ain't in the pot, then all you got to do is go to Capital Facts and read the comments and realize you was OJ just like us. Them people don't love you. I don't care how much you sit up and they clap you and pat you on the back and tell you, call you representative or call you senator or honorable and everything else. When you gone, you gone. And nobody is looking for you. They move on. And the consistency, pay attention. When you saw, and I'm talking to some of my legislators out there, when you saw one of your colleagues leave, lost, that everybody thought was one of the greatest, his opposition moved into his spot, and you saw all them lobbyists being like running around trying to be cool with him. Black people. And this is why I feel like maybe our time has gotten past us. Because we don't even hear nobody talking about, we don't even hear economic black talk coming back. Did y'all hear these? Do you hear these black people from the 80s? Yesterday, Mary Flowers talked about Paul Williams being removed. Paul Williams is now a lobbyist in Springfield. Guys, we are sitting in the boiling pot. And I need for y'all to understand that even though Springfield does not take you out of the boiling pot, you are still OJ. All your other constituencies don't change the fact that you are still OJ. Right? And for everybody paying attention to new, old, and current legislators, read Capital Facts and see what the people who have walked amongst you are saying about the person that just 2 days ago were holding up. And then ask yourself, how many of those people can you count on? How many of those people are sitting next to you, patting you on the back? See, we have to see pride when we walk in the room and not be happy that we're the few black people in the room. We got to walk in the room and be happy that there's plenty of black people in the room. But I think that there's this thing that happens, which is we get comfortable being in the room. And then we feel special because ain't no other black people in the room. Not understanding that if it go down and there ain't no other black people in the room, fam, you getting cooked. And then what will happen is they'll be coming back talking about, man, black people support me. I'm not going to pile on Senator Jones. I'm going to tell you that Senator Jones is a victim of a system that is set to make you a captive. They want you to live outside of your means. They want you to need money. They want to solve it. Riis, the best thing that can happen to you is somebody have a problem and you can help them. Because what does that mean? They're forever indebted to you. I think about all of the cool white lobbyists that black folks be like, that know how to do the handshake and know how to be cool with all the black people. And we take pride in that. That's the man. That's instead of saying, man, let me shake your hand like shake your hand like a black man and be there for you when you need him. And understand that it's my responsibility. The white folks usually say, well, we'll take the next person that's going into that slot. There's no law. They're not going to be like, pay attention. We've got to build amongst ourselves. I'm not hating on nobody else, but we are the only people that are almost have to be grateful when people come talk to us or want to do business with us. Tell me, in what situation does the black person have the power? He don't have it at the legislative, at the executive level. He don't have it when the wealthy businessman comes in with the wealthy white lobbyist. The black legislator is usually got to be thankful that unless it's like some sort of chemical plant or something, usually has to be grateful that the business is even considering their area. And so we find ourselves not in a position of power, but in a position to be grateful. Thank you, sir, for gracing my community with your project and not being able to pull out the pieces. And then we, as black folks, once the letter comes out, then all the white folks walk away from you. And they leave you there, and now you back to being OJ. And all the people that didn't say nothing, that was quiet, do y'all not understand that we are inextricably linked as black people regardless? And it's like, for all of the pride that so many of us, and we've created an ecosystem where black business skips over black legislators and they go to white folks to get help. We've created an ecosystem where black legislators team up with white lobbyists because the black lobbyists ain't really there. Now they starting to come up some, but it's 6 to 600,000. And it's like when we go in the room and we count and we, like, my thing is, if you can name the people that are winning, then it ain't enough people winning. Riis, I walk into rooms where everybody in the room is making $150,000 to $200,000, and that's chump change with an expense account. Riis, you know why there's no black bit? Now imagine if that's a room and you're a black legislator and you've made that many people wealthy and they're now doing your fundraiser at a black event, at a black venue. And those black and all of those white lobbyists and black lobbyists are now telling them, we're going to be at the black people space and you need to use that same $1,000 that you was going to buy drinks for everybody in a black establishment. No, Riis. Because we don't understand the concept of ecosystem. And so I got to ask y'all, and I'm not, what's a realistic amount of money that's fair, that puts a person out of a need to subsist? See, I think the problem is, Riis, a lot of our black elected officials, when you become a lobbyist, you get exposed to so much more that you didn't even know was out there. And then it's like, you know how you give a person a taste, Riis? then they want to keep it. They want to keep coming back. That's kind of what happens. And now, as you want to come back, now you jammed up because you're not individually wealthy. Look, it's the Maze Jackson Show. As I look at this situation with Senator Jones, and we see that it's $5,000 and we see that it's happened multiply, how we clearly have not learned the lesson. And I really believe that part of the lesson is we have to create our own ecosystem. If you're going to create a space where it is part-time and the position is part-time, then we got to be in enough space to employ our own black elected officials so that they're accountable to us, not to somebody else. If you're not going to increase the pay, if you're not going to raise the standard of living so that everybody is at the same level when they go down, so they don't, Riis, you ever shop with your stomach to your back when you're hungry? Won't they tell you don't go to the grocery store when you're hungry? Because if you go to the grocery store when you're hungry, you're liable to take and buy anything. Take the people out of subsistence. Put everybody on a level playing field. Tell all the wealthy, it's not just us bringing our people up, it's bringing the wealth down. Riis, we got elected officials that work for the cannabis industry that vote on the legislation to make themselves rich or their clients rich. How is that different? How can you sponsor legislation to make your family rich and be okay and then make hundreds of millions, tens of millions, and we got federal indictments over $5,000? $5,000, you should say, take the $5,000 you out and let it be. We got whole industries that have been absconded with. Legally. They wrote it in the law. And once again, we get jammed for $5K. Riis, it ain't everybody is a crook. It goes to Ruthie. We be down so bad. And I think because we look at these people in their fancy suits and purple robes, can I tell you what? When they go home after they get through putting on the postures, they just like us. They still got to go in the mirror and look and be like, damn, look at my neighborhood. Look at the difference between me and them. The only difference is they get to stun on us. But once you go home and you look in that mirror and you drive around your neighborhood and you look, and if everybody is just like you in the neighborhood and ain't moved up, you don't get to poke yourself out. And don't think that because they took you on the trip or they took you to go see somebody. Like, don't take me to the zoo to go show the animals. Don't take me to Africa. Say, look at it behind the glass. You can come, but you can come with me. You gonna tell me about somebody else's country club membership? Come on, man. We bigger than that. We supposed to be talking about the Black Country Club. Not we get to go to the white people country club and we grateful. That ain't our measurement. Now, Salim gets mad because I say I want to measure based on the number of black millionaires. Y'all do with y'all. Mine is black millionaires because I'm through with y'all talking about this subsistence living. When I see these people make people multi-millionaires, they get to fly on the jet, but we can't fly on the jet because we don't make enough money. They be like, man, one of my clients gonna pay for it. Maze Jackson Show. Go to the live line. Carla, you on the Maze Jackson Show. What's up?
Good morning, Maze. This is Hope.
Come on, Hope. Give me the whooping. I'm ready.
No, just remember Mayor Jackson?
Yep.
Former Mayor of Atlanta. Remember, he came to Chicago because he could not feed his family in Atlanta after being mayor.
I remember that.
In the mid-'80s.
Yep.
Mid-'80s, he came here to He came here in Chicago to work for Chapman and Cutler and to learn a new line of business, municipal bond, because all the people that he put in business did not feed him in return.
Right. No, 100%.
That was the state of black business in Atlanta. It is now the state of business here in Chicago. Loretta Hospital, do you think that is over with?
Oh, no. I think
in terms of...
Nope.
No.
Nope. I think that there's a lot more to come, and I think that we are seeing the great exodus, and there's going to be a giant purge, and I think that we're going to keep... I mean, look at this. This was 3 years ago. Think about how long it took for the Madigan thing to unfold. No, I think that there's a lot more coming. And Lori, you say he's second. So, Hope, I guess my question is, when you look around, am I crazy to think that we should have some sort of ecosystem? It's like, even when I'm talking about, I think about Lori's telling me about Jones's second generation and shit. No, I think about when I saw President Jones and Barack Obama kicked him to the curb. It's like we don't have a cycle where we protect or take care of each other. So it almost creates an every man for himself environment. Am I crazy about that?
No, you're not crazy at all. But what you have to remember is that once we did have an ecosystem here in Chicago. That is what brought me here. I came here to work for a public accounting firm, a big four public accounting firm, because there was a black partner that knew he needed staff that were black to look under his back. And consequently, we had contracts with black banks. We had contracts with black public agencies. That black partner was fed very well. And as a matter of fact, it led to this big four firm having another black partner, and that was Tony Anderson out of Chicago State. A Chicago State grad became not only a partner in a big four public accounting firm, but he led the West Coast branch of EMY. That is what a successful system does. That system is gone now. Why is it gone? It's gone because there's a lot of cynicism among black politicians where they isolate themselves from black businesses, and when they're given a chance to help a black business, they want something in return before they do anything.
Man, Jesus Christ. They be like, you.
That's the problem.
That is the problem. The problem is everybody black want their stuff in advance from the black people, but they go jump through the hoops. Oh my God, Hope, I cannot believe you just said that. And quite frankly, a lot of times, the success that you've had, they want to claim that success when you've made it to that level and now you're trying to get there. Man, Hope, you just said a word. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate it.
Again, I was the fraud expert for RJ Dell. I helped him keep that lottery contract, but until I got in to help him, not one black politician was willing to help him. Not at all. They threw him on an island. If it wasn't for former Governor Blagojevich allowing me a certain amount of time to prove that R.J. Dell had not committed fraud, he'd be in ICE. Mm-hmm. And again, he had great attorneys at the time, too. But again, our black politicians have to come off that island, get in the community, get involved with the businesses, and start looking out for them. That opportunity with cannabis was an excellent chance, and they let us down.
And confidently did.
Thanks, Maze.
Thank you, Hope. And they did it with confidence. That's the crazy part. They did it with confidence, like beating on their chest. And nobody was responsible. Like, it's none, but nobody was responsible. Look, Lori, you talking about, and Lori, I keep looking at your comments. You talking about Emo Jones III should have learned this from Emo Jones II. What part of they don't allow your legacy to live don't we understand? Like, who are the second generation blacks of anything? Any of them? Besides the leaks, who is the next generation? Do y'all understand that they wasn't going to the premise was to make E3 a small guy. Why would I give, if I was on the team with Madigan and everything else, and Emil Jones, the senior, was the person that was kicking ass, why would they give him the opportunity to climb? Do you think that they was like, oh, let's help Emil Jones III out? No. Nobody reaches for black kids. No one reaches for the black children. We can appoint them to the spot. But tell me who the black legacies are. We don't have the continuation because we fight against our own self-interest. We getting ready to cook the brother. Like, again, I think the thing that I saw this week is we can't blame the victims of slavery for their enslaved mentality. We still got to go back to the racial component of it, which is the racism, which is the system that says, come to me for the food. In the 48 Laws of Power, it says, make people come to you, even if you have to trick them. Go to the live line. Call you on the Maze Jackson Show. Caller?
Good morning. Good morning, Maze and Riis.
This is Tyrone Muhammad. What's up, Tyrone Muhammad?
Yes. I'm calling the wild, so bear with me. Listen, Maze. First of all, I don't appreciate it. It's not a joy to see any black person, a man, indicted or even have, for something like that and even going to prison, right? As somebody who served so much time in my life, I know that feeling and what that represents and what you lose and how you lose your family and everything and your community. With that being said, bro, Emil Jones, with all the violence going on in his Roseland area, with us working out here in the field doing this violence prevention, bro, and doing this mentor work that we do to modify the behavior of the would-be shooters, driller, killers, and sliders. That man reached not one time to us to assist him, to help him, or any of that. So I don't have any respect for that right there alone because he was mad at me because I stood on Tim Egan over in Roseland for the abhorrent conditions and the mistreatment of our black people in Roseland Hospital. He fought me tooth and nail, bro, on Tim Egan being this great white hope for the Roseland Church. For the Roseland Hospital, bro. So that all that he did and everything he could in his power to undermine me in terms of resources or anything that I would receive to assist him. But nonetheless, I would still be on the front line working and fighting and helping that brother gain his freedom. So now, so that he don't have to be like Robert Gorovich joining ECCSC after they do their prison time. So, and furthermore, when you start talking about, I'm asking currently, we working on and building. There has to be a federal investigation, and I'm sorry, a lot of you Negro politicians, and I got all y'all in line that work to isolate us, just like your last caller just said. It was the perfect opportunity for them to correct and fix the ills caused by the war on drugs, at least in Chicago. I'm asking for a national investigation on all of these elected officials, because they all eating with lobbyists and lawyers. They all eating. You can't have 99.9% of cannabis dispensary owned by white men with black elected officials pushing the cannabis, and we don't have no real equity in that or a stake in that, bro. That's why you don't see the Edie Moores. That's why you don't see the Tor Hutchins. They done moved on to bigger jobs now. You don't see the Edie Moores. They done got their license. You don't see the same people that was lined up with us, the little people in the street, fighting for change, social justice, and fighting to get those brothers' cases expunged and overturned for cannabis, bro. Now they're using cannabis as a tool to arrest our brothers and lock people up. for guns. So now you don't get locked up necessarily for cannabis, but now you get pulled over for driving while smoking or driving while high. So they create the rules and the laws to further entrap us, man, on every level. And these well-to-do Negroes, as elected officials that you talk about, they think they exempt from the ills that we face and fight for every day in these communities, man. Because they allow people even like J.B. Pritzker. They don't say nothing. They know he purposely deny black organizations resources that don't line up with him. And they do nothing about it. They say nothing. Even in the case of LaShawn Foreman, say his name. Here he is, the highest doggone, one of the highest districts of as a state rep for violence in his community out west. He allocated in line item over $500,000 for ECCSE. And then he let J.B. Pritzker now tell him he can't, where his money can't go. Why they send money all over the country, even for immigrants. And he don't say nothing, don't do a press conference, don't say nothing, allow it to happen. A lot of these state reps know about this. While we dying in these neighborhoods, they let J.B. Pritzker and his cronies target certain groups and give all the resources to white folks to then issue it out to black people to do violence prevention in our own neighborhoods, man. It's so much going on with the violence prevention, all the acts and the different money that's supposed to come down, especially from cannabis. If it's anybody that should receive resources from the cannabis, it's formerly incarcerated brothers who've been victims of the war on drugs, who are the true veterans of the war on drugs. And then now you get all the legislators lined up fighting against us toward Sonia Harper, I'm going to say her name, allowed a bill to be passed that stop ex-cons, if you've been arrested for drugs or substances, to even work in the hemp industry, bro. Cannabis industry is not the non-psychoactive form of hemp. Cannabis. They don't even want you to work there as an ex-con when cannabis when hemp is making billions, and we are not in the industry. It has 50,000 applications from fiber to oil to plastics to everything. We are not in that industry, bro. It's an overlay for the underplay, bro, and I'm telling you, man, it gotta come to a head. And the last and final thing, man.
Go ahead.
You've been talking about woe is it over with for us. No, it ain't over, man. It's time for us to get up off our coward ass and stand up for something, bro. We just got to stop worrying, man. Listen, man, stop worrying about all the people that ain't doing shit. Worry about the people you line up with that's on the front line that's standing, and let's go. We don't have to wait on them. The one thing about followers, one thing about people who need guidance, when we put it together, they gonna come. You build it, they gonna come. Just build it, man. Forget it. I'm telling you. Don't even worry about them no more. Let these house Negroes, token Negroes, and tap dancers and scared Negroes stay in the doggone house, bro, and wash dishes and clothes or something. Let's get out here and fight, man. Let's get out here and build, create wealth and money. Let's get some millions, man. Then we'll feed them. Then they'll believe in you then. But as long as you ain't feeding these Negroes, man, they ain't finna follow no truth. You can speak all day long. They not going because they tasting the bag, some hair, some nails. They tasting some gym shoes. So let's go, man. Don't worry about them. Let's go get the people that we could guide and lead right. And then the blind will catch up. They may be able to help them see once they see us successful working together as a group. Let's do that. Let's welcome all. Welcome everybody to the table, man. Forget it. Those that will come, let them come. Those that don't, hey, man, let them die and perish. That's what happened. Let one in the wilderness and die off.
Dang.
Die.
Hey, that is my brother Tyrone Muhammad. I hope you have to go walk the dog now.
Tired of type to be that big and got a
and he got a little video and he be look at my little baby dog like look the other day he came through the job. We got to go, baby. We got to go, baby, because we got to go walk the dog.
Gotta go walk Peaches.
Carrie was like, wait, we got to walk the dog. She was like, I didn't even know he was. Shout out to Tyrone Muhammad. So y'all, in the tradition of not bringing rope to the fire. I mean, to the lynching. So for me, I think that there are moments like this where I'll let y'all talk. I'm gonna be in defense of the brother, and y'all can make the charges. But the reality is, I want our black folks to read Capitol Facts. I want y'all, when y'all are sitting, I want the black legislators to look and look and look around and see. What's the matter? That all of these people love you while you there, and they will drop you like a hot cake and look at your replacement. So you're not special. And here's the thing I think we got to start doing. Riis, I'm not a big fan of lists, but I am a fan of relationship maps. And to me, we've got to start identifying the black agents in our community. Now, agents tends to have a negative opinion, a negative response. An agent, to us, we think of FBI agent, double agent, somebody that is tracking us. But could you imagine, Riis? So do you realize that there's a person that's responsible for black stuff in every city, for every office, most part? So maybe not Toni Preckwinkle. She probably don't, because her guy told us we got to take care of the immigrants. But in most offices, there's an outreach person or a person who is responsible for that office and their relationship with the black community. Whether it's the governor, whether it is the state comptroller, whether it is the Cook County Board President, whether it is the mayor, we need to start identifying who are the point people for all of our elected officials. And then after we identify that, then we need to start holding them accountable. See, Riis, right now, we have to do the relationship maps. Okay? So can I suggest that right now, what would you say if I told you that the governor is running candidates for mayor? I mean, not for mayor, for city council. So a J.B. Pritzker caucus in city council. And guess where he's going to finance? The black races. So to me,
don't we just see him finance the person that he running against right now?
Yeah.
See? Sound about right.
How does it work for us, though? So my thing is this, Riis. We have to now start. So who is the black person at the Democratic Party of Illinois? Who is the black person? Tomorrow is the Cook County Democratic Party's fundraiser. And I'm going to tell you, I wanted us all to go and buy tickets, but the tickets are $200. Now, I don't got $200 to buy tickets. But my thing was, we are not a presence in the places where decisions are being made about us. And I feel like, so tomorrow, right? Everybody's going to be, JB's going to walk into a room of black people who are telling him that they're all happy. Right? Like, it's going to be everybody clapping and nobody's going to say anything about cannabis or anything like that. And then there's going to be the black people. Remember I told you that put up the screen? That say, oh, don't, yeah, I can't, Governor, just look this way. So, because the black people are happy. They happy to get out of jail. Because think about this. Somebody's told him that he's all good with black people.
We did. Every time he go in there and he tell us something, and he doesn't come through with his promise, and we vote for him again, we tell him.
Well, we only voted for him once.
Well, but I'm just saying, so if we do it again, then, you know what I'm saying? So, like, we tell him.
But just think about this. So who are the black people that don't tell JB that he's got a problem? Who are the black people that don't tell our elected? See, again, there are black people in every office, in every spot that are responsible in these executive offices. Who, and somebody let me read a text that I got, and I'm going to just read it. And this one is, Mays, you're right, but white folks get to do stuff that we don't get to do. State Representative Cassidy was a state representative while payroll I'm not going to say ghost pay. This is alleged. While payrolling at Tom Dart, and then got her wife a job as the vice president of a major marijuana company while being one of the sponsors of marijuana legalization. Riis. That's legal. And you talking about what Emo's daddy didn't teach him. Emo's daddy didn't teach him this because Emo's daddy can't do this. Do y'all understand, like, I am not excusing anything, but I am going to say that it's like if you were running hurdles and you jump the hurdle, and after every hurdle, you got to jump over a hole. Whereas your competition jumps the hurdle and keeps going. Every hurdle that they put in front of us, there is a double entendre. And it's like, if I can't get you this way, I'm going to get you this way. Now, the answer is you can't never take no money, right? You can't ever, never take no money. But then the answer should also be that you can't hook your family up. You can't take a job at the sheriff's office. Remember? And the only reason that the job at the sheriff's office got exposed was because she started talking and she didn't stay in line. So you see what they saw what could happen to, and the white woman got revenge. The black person would just be fired. So again, while you telling our guy to take a $78,000 salary and he should get another job, his counterpart takes a $78,000 job, legalizes marijuana, and in the process gets her family member a job, and then goes and gets paid, and our guys and cut us out completely. And you mad at the dude with the $5,000? I'm not tripping. I'm not. I feel terrible that we can still get got over $5,000. But if that can happen in the same space, in the same location, and again, we're going to be in the room with black people who are sitting across from people who are actively working against our self-interest, and nobody's going to say nothing. And then I'm going to be the bad guy. I could be cool with everybody, but family, if you are if you trying to stop black people, if you're a cannabis lobbyist, and you are not supporting a what do you call it, a bill rewrite, a trailer bill this session in veto to give black people access to right the wrongs, if you're actively fighting against, we can't be cool right now. I can't excuse you for stealing our birthright, for systemically disenfranchising us and pretend like, oh, that's just that over there. That's me, though. Because we've been taught to hide our trauma, to hide our pain. So all of the black cannabis operators got to go and be quiet. They got to pay tribute, but they can't make too much noise, because if they make too much noise, guess what? Then they going to punish them anyway. But you ain't said nothing and you got punished. Again, we can't do the same things that they do. And quite frankly, if he was a white legislator, he probably would have had another job.
Somebody would have felt obligated to take care of them. I want you to go across the list, and I want you to look at the common legislators, the common people that are elected officials in part-time jobs, and see who pays them off the clock when they're not being an elected official. And then see whose interests they represent. Can I tell you, you'd be surprised at how many of your elected officials are on somebody's payroll, somebody white, while they operate from a self-righteous position dealing with us. Now, and then what happens is the black folks that's got money are more interested in having the relationships with the white boys because they know that they really probably aren't going to get that much from the black folks. It's a tripped out system where none of us help each other. We got white folks being like best friend, best friend, best friend. Best friend, are you actively lobbying for free pro bono because I hope you make millions of dollars somewhere else to make sure that black people get cannabis, that make sure black people get on the get gaming? All the people that wrote letters about what was going on this show, but never said a word about the fact that you just starved another generation of black folks out. You got to ask, where do they sit? You got to ask yourself, how did your friend, your sister, and her family win and your whole community lost? And you still call her sister and she can be comfortable walking through our space. I'm not hating on nobody. I am saying, but we got to protect our own. Everybody else protects or feels like they have an obligation to their own. If a black person has to go to a white person to talk to a black legislator to get some traction, Riis, just think. Right now, I'm going to give you another example, and it's not shade. Let me give you how it works for us and compared to them. So I'm going to use this. Shout out to Mike Z. His wife was the chairman of the Citizens Utility Board while he voted on legislation for ComEd, and his wife and his dad worked for ComEd. That doesn't happen for black people. It's 100% legal, but guess what? We ain't them opportunities don't come for us. They don't understand their power. They are excited. They don't see themselves as wealth creators for their community. Every bill that goes up, somebody is making some millions of dollars. And if you're not asking yourself, who are the black people making millions of dollars off of this? If you can convince yourself not to ask what's in it for the black people with a real answer that's economically based, they got us, y'all. And we're going to keep on having $5,000 gimmies. Because we still haven't figured out, even within the realm of the system that exists, how to play the game. So you trying to tell me that as the as the minority leader and the Senate president of the Senate, that nobody thought that he was worthy to get any kind of job? Why is... And here's the thing though. They leave it to us to try and mimic what they're doing, and then we mess it up. Because we ain't got the lawyer. We ain't did it in the legal way. You just saw them doing it over there and you thought you could do it too. That's the rules. Look, y'all, this is the Maze Jackson Show. Just think, they're calling for the resignation of Emo Jones. When it was Cassandra, when it was... Do y'all understand the difference in just how these things work? Like, now everybody is doing something about what happened because somebody white was hurt and offended. What happens when it's us?
I just need for y'all to understand that this whole system has been created. And it's like, if you had a chance to be royalty, I am not going to lie. Most people, when they get the chance to be royalty, don't do the math because they think that the royalty-ness will make them rich. And what you find out is that you ain't the same royalty as the white folks. Yes, you get to come into our means and you get to be better than all of us. But when you go to the white folks, their elected officials aren't royalty. So they busy hustling. See, we think that you get the title and think that you royalty with no wealth. And so then we put ourselves in these situations. I'm going to pray for Senator Jones. I'm going to pray for his family. I'm going to pray for the black elected officials. I am going to pray for the black community, that in some way, shape, or form, that we can get ourselves out of a place where $5,000 can make a difference. That we would even consider gambling at all for such a little amount of money. And when you do, you got to think about this, Joe. We be down so bad, and the whole OJ thing, like, we all OJ. Ain't no black people, whether you rich or poor, probably live within 2 miles of each other. And if you are a black representative and you represent the district, tell me what's the bomb black district where all the people making money? But let me honor you. Black people, when I say, okay, the fundraiser is $200, you know what black people gonna say? Man, I ain't paying them chumps $200. So it's like this repetitive cycle where we're never in a place. So they get to keep doing stuff like tomorrow. All right, y'all. Y'all got me all hyped up about this. I'm gonna stop while I'm ahead. Look, y'all, this is the Mace Jackson Show. Riis, you got anything you want to say, man? I mean, 5 stacks, Joe. 5 stacks, though. That's a lot of money.
No.
If you get it in 20s,
Say
5
you get it in one.
5
You
stacks
get
in
it
20s
one.
is a nice look. 5 stacks in 20s is a nice look. But you got to think about, when you pass billions of dollars in appropriations, and $5,000 can get you. It's because, as Ruthie says, we be down so bad. I don't blame Senator Jones. I blame the system. Now, you got to be stronger, but I also recognize that this whole thing has been put together to deceive you. Let's go to the live line. Caller, you're on the Mace Jackson Show. Caller.
Good morning, Mace Jackson. Byron here.
Byron! Uh-oh, Byron about to go.
Hey, Mace, you are good, but Tyrone is right. Tyrone Muhammad is right. I know you can't say that. I know you that. So I'm calling behind him, right? Because when you tell a child, don't touch the stove because they will burn you, and the child touched the stove, he said, oh, God, I'm hurt. Whose fault is it?
Byron, you're not going to make me say it. Just say your point, man.
No, he knew the rules. He knew the rules, right? Maze, believe me, I have my 45 and 30. Even I know that if I shoot somebody, I'm going to pay the price for it. I know the rules. And if I don't have the clear and present danger defense, I'm going to jail. I know the rules, man. He knows the rules because he's a black man with a white suited tie and come to the black community and talk all that BS like that LaShawn Ford does, and people fall for it. I don't fall for that. I only fall for what you bring to the community that's real, okay? That's one thing I fall for, like Gus Savage. And a lot of people don't remember Gus Savage. I do. He stood his ground for the black community. This ain't going to happen until this happens, right?
Right.
That's what it is. I know, man. You're a lobbyist. You're great at what you do. And what's amazing? The white supremacists and the Proud Boys and all these yellow hair and orange men don't stop you from doing what you got to do. And you come on this radio station to help the black community every day at your expense, right? They should get on their knees and blessing you every damn day, right? They should. Because the stuff that you give to the community, the research that you do, it's a lot of research you do, a lot of reading you got to do, a lot of digging you do to get the information and break it down so we can understand it. I really appreciate that. But I'm not going to kiss your butt today because you are doing what you're supposed to do for the community and your family and the world. But these other politicians, they got the power to do things. They can shut anything down they want to. They can shut anything down they want to. Any legislation, they got the votes to do it. You know it, Maze. They always come to these black stations and yang. And I have to listen to that. But you know what I do? I turn it off. When black politics come on, I just turn it off. Tell me one time that Biden or Kamala Harris talking about reparations. It ain't coming. They ain't talking about. They don't even mention it. And we still on the radio station all damn day talking about reparations. It ain't coming. Because they ain't talking about it. It's not important to them. All they want to do is use black folks to get ahead. Right? They're replacing us with all these people from South America now. I ain't say Mexico, because I don't get in trouble with the babies last time. Because those babies, I see those babies, and I see 3 or 4 of them. I'm just telling you, the whole family comes together. But I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to leave that alone. I wasn't trying to put them down on anything, but they have a tendency to have large families. We used to have that same concept, too, back down south. We used to have 7 or 8 kids. The family used to have 7 or 8 kids. My family is a family of 4. Was a family of 4 kids. You see what I'm saying? So it's just, I wasn't trying to criticize nobody, so get over that. But all I'm saying is, this guy, well, I don't care what he took. I tell people all the time, don't mess with the IRS. When the IRS send you money to pay something, pay. Don't even question them. Pay it, because you're asking for trouble if you're trying to contest that stuff. You get on their list, it's going to cost you more pain. You know the rules, you follow the rules. And that's it, man. But Tyrell Muhammad, hey, brother. I know where you've been. I know the pain you're suffering. But, hey, who gives a damn about this sucker? That's what I feel. Who gives a damn? Well, all of them. Maze, that's it, man.
Hey.
I take a breath. Where a Riis stick, man? Where a Riis stick? He always
Riis
somewhere
over
in the
there.
middle somewhere.
Riis over there grinning, skinning and grinning. Like he like my number one supporter. You done flipped on me, Byron. What you got to say, Riis? Byron want to hear your voice, man.
Man, you know I always tell him, man. They don't be listening, man. It's too, hey, man, like Maze be right, man, until it's too late, you know, and then he playing you back something that he said long time ago, and then he asking, how do we get here? We know how we got here. We know it every day. They be like, don't leave nowhere. You're like, I'm leaving y'all. You're like, what I'm here for? You know what I'm saying? Hey, so but it is educational, man. So you know it's good.
Thank you.
But Maze is a blessing for us, man. The information that he gives every damn day. I'm just telling you, it's a blessing, and we should treasure it, because aren't too many people who do what Maze is doing. And Maze is a smart. People realize how smart Maze is. You know, I went to the University of Illinois. I got a bachelor's degree in computer science and a bachelor in electronics engineering. But that guy Maze, he does a lot of reading. I ain't doing it. I don't know how he does that. It's just a blessing from God. And I praise you, brother, and have a great day. Thank you very much.
Hey, Byron, thank you, man. I appreciate the call. Y'all. So I'm not making excuses. You ever watch a movie and you be like, don't open that door? Just don't open the door. Like, you know how you be like, it'd be like the music be like, dun, 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 and they be looking at the door and you be like, don't open the door. Don't open the door. I can do it. They open the door and it's like, you know how the movies be? And you be like, just, you know what the outcome is going to be, but you just don't want them to open the door. Because you know what's behind door number one. Can you get the job done? Right? When you, Riis, I can almost half 3/4 of the time see the signs. When somebody is not where they supposed to be. And I'm not condoning. Riis, just think about, Riis, how many people can you pick up the phone and say, let me get 5 stacks? Not a lot.
Nobody. Because I had that in my thing.
We need to keep that. You need to make that one. You need to just get that. We need to just have all the bomb sounds. So Riis, what if you knew, what if you kicked it every day with people who you knew had 5,000 in their pocket? Right? All the time, and they could, right? And you kicking it, and you do, and right, and every time you need to reach somebody else, and everybody you know can reach in and help you. But then you reach down because everybody gone and you ain't got 5 stacks. Right? It's a cruel joke to put you in a space with everybody and let you kick it with them, but you can't get it on your own. You have to have somebody else to give it to you because you can't afford it. Now, you can be here, you can kick it. You ever been it's almost like our legislators window shopping till they get them a sugar daddy. And the sugar daddy ain't black. So then you find yourself in these crazy positions because you want to borrow 5 stacks because you done been living in the world. But you know people, Riis, that will kick it with you and do whatever, but don't ask me for nothing. That's me. Right? I kick it with you all day, and I buy whatever, but don't you ask me. Well, that's the situation that you find yourself in, but now you out here kicking it with all your people and you at the party. All I want you all to understand is that they know what they're doing. If you put food around a hungry person, they're going to try to eat. If you put food around a person that is not hungry but obese, they're going to want to eat. So all you really need to, like when the mouse goes to the mouse trap, do you think the mouse knows it's a trap? At some point, they be like, I'm smarter than this. When they get the cheese and don't get it. But again, there's a reason that you put cheese on the trap. Because mice can't resist it. And I just think that they starve you until a point where, again, you either got to get your priorities right or they starve you. Look, y'all, this is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. No excuses. But I do want you to understand how a person gets there. And we will not crucify Senator Jones. He will have his day and time in court. And as I have promised, until next year, I'm not bringing wood to the fire, but I hope that at least you can get some perspective. I'm not making excuses, but I want you to understand of what it's like to be at the party and can't participate, and they did it on purpose. Look, y'all, this is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man, DJ Riis, the ruler, on the ones and twos. Riis, you got anything you want to say? Byron, like, where my man Riis at?
Nah, man, I'm finna go out here and I got to slide and share my blessings to my cousin real quick,
Okay, sliding. No slide like Ty be talking about slide.
Nah.
Okay. I'm like, you ain't finna bust up your cousin.
Nah. I'm finna go and pay my respects.
Oh, okay. Is he passed?
Yeah.
My condolences to the loss to your family, to the loss of your family member. We'll take a moment of silence for Riis's cousin. All right, man. I want to send a happy birthday out to our boy Devin Gordine. Anybody want to buy some $200 tickets and we go to the to the Cook County. I would love to go to the Cook. I would just love to all of us be there, standing there. I know ain't nobody paying to
They
it.
verify? Like how they verify?
Hey, let's see. Let's see if we can get the Cash App scan code.
That's what I was thinking. We see if we can send it around and see if we can get it.
Right.
Now, after about the fifth black person, they'll start checking. So you gotta be.
Let me ask y'all a question though. I want you to think about that. Who are the black legacies? Who? What is the black family that made a second generation successful? They've killed almost every second generation black person that's come around. Pay attention to it. It's the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host. These dudes took $50 million from ComEd. They nailing brothers for $5,000. You don't gotta feel sorry, but there ain't no such thing as selective prosecution, huh? All right, y'all, it's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back tomorrow. So for Maze, Riis, and Ruthie, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, where every single day we ask the question, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them, Maze said, we out here. Peace.
Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries.